Tommy just stepped away.
Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello. I just need someone to talk to me. It's just so low. You're so low. I can't even hear you. Yeah, I can hear myself, which is good. I just might need them to point to me tonight, and might need the camera guy to point. So low, 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 low. Coach Alan Koch said, even for the story.
Teams began the 2017 Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup back on May 10th, hoping to reach the precipice of American soccer. 5 wins and 4 home matches later, the home side welcomes another MLS club with a trip to Kansas City on the line. Welcome to an historic night on the campus of the University of Cincinnati, where tonight FC Cincinnati welcomes the New York Red Bulls for a U.S. Open Cup semifinal. Tom Galerter thrilled to be alongside All-American Kevin McCloskey here at Nippert Stadium as we get you set for this matchup. The hopes of playing for a cup final on the line, and Kevin, we've both been here in Cincinnati for a while. The buzz today, very special, as this will be the biggest soccer match the city has ever seen.
I think the biggest thing, too, it's significant, right? We've seen big games come into Nippert. We've seen Crystal Palace, we've seen Columbus Crew, we've seen, obviously, Chicago, but this game, a chance to get into play in the U.S. Cup final, takes the top.
Absolutely. Well, 90 minutes away, maybe from a cup final, definitely for one of these sides. Harrison Delbridge for FC Cincinnati has played every minute of the Open Cup so far for Alan Koch. He's going to have his hands full today as we take a look at our key matchup, driven by your Greater Cincinnati and Northern Kentucky Volkswagen dealers. He's going to have to try and slow down one of the top scorers in Major League Soccer.
Yeah, Wright Phillips is so dynamic. He's been such a threat, obviously, this season, and since he's really come to the MLS, he's going to be a hard player to stop. I think Harrison, but probably FC Cincinnati's most consistent defender, most experienced defender. I think he's going to be confident in trying to at least keep him at bay tonight.
Well, the winner of tonight's match earns a date in the Cup Finals, September 20th in Kansas City. When we return, we'll take a look at the starting lineups and check in from the pitch for the first time tonight. That's all coming up next. This is FC Cincinnati Soccer. Skydivers arriving at Nippert Stadium, where a capacity crowd is on hand for an Open Cup semi-final. FC Cincinnati and the New York Red Bulls have taken the pitch and are set for their first ever matchup. Tom Glider alongside Kevin McCloskey as we get you set. The winner will play Sporting Kansas City on September 20th in Kansas City. Let's take a look at our starting lineups, brought to you by Toyota. Let's go places for Alan Koch and FC Cincinnati. Danny Koenig starts up top. GB suspended due to yellow card accumulation. 3 yellow cards in 5 matches, so Koenig gets the nod there. And then Mitch Hildebrand, who's been phenomenal for clean sheets for the orange and blue. At the other side for New York Red Bulls, we'll see in goal, a little bit of a surprise, at least to me, Ryan Mara starts in goal. He started all the Open Cup games, but Luis Robles is their regular. He does not see the nod today. And then Bradley Wright Phillips, who Kevin spoke about off the top, 14 goals on the season. Let's head down to the pitch and check in with the third member of our broadcast team, Lindsay Patterson, for the first time tonight.
Guys, FC Cincinnati turned 2 on Saturday. Just a couple of days later, they're playing in the semifinals of the U.S. Open Cup match. Call it a fairy tale if you would like, but Coach Alan Koch said a couple days ago, even for the storied clubs in America, this is an accomplishment for the new kids on the block. We did it again. We hope to continue that historic run here tonight.
All right, thank you, Lindsay. Today's injury report is presented by the Levy Law Offices, where they turn your crash into cash. Tyler Pollock remains on the injury report with his knee injury, and Kevin Schindler an injured wrist, but he's available for Alan Koch tonight. Keys to the match are brought to you by Tri-State Chevy dealers. Kevin, what do you have for the orange and blue tonight?
Obviously, approaching the game with confidence. You know, they've been here and done this against MLS teams already, you know, beating Columbus and Chicago. So tonight's no different with that. They've got to believe and execute the game plan to, you know, Ellen's worked in the last couple of days to get them ready. Tonight they've just got to go out, believe in it. The longer the game stays close, the more belief comes in, and then it's execution.
All right, well, our match official tonight is brought to you by Kingsgate Transportation. We can take it from here. And an experienced Major League Soccer referee, Soren Stoica, now in his 6th season as an MLS official, debuted actually in a match involving the New York Red Bulls in 2012. Will be the man in the middle tonight. You can see him wearing black. FC Cincinnati in their traditional blue kits with white and orange. And there's Mitch Hildebrand, 510 minutes for this club without allowing a goal in the run of play during the Open Cup. 2 of the 5 wins have gone to extra time. 3 have been settled in 90 minutes. And again, the winner plays for the U.S. Open Cup on September 20th. New York Red Bulls in their white tops with red shorts. That's their traditional look as well. And we are just about set for the first ever meeting between these two clubs. Red Bulls will get the first touch and work right to left as we get the U.S. Open Cup semifinal underway in front of a huge crowd in the Queen City.
What an event and experience, obviously, for every player on this pitch tonight, Tommy. I think the big thing, and I talked about this in the key, the FC Cincinnati players just can't get the excitement, or let the excitement at least get the better of them. They've got to stick to the game plan, got to focus in every play, and believe in themselves.
Well, in their 2 previous Open Cup matches against MLS sides in Columbus Crew SC and Chicago Fire, they didn't allow that to get to them, and obviously prevailed in both of those matches. Red Bulls arrive here in Cincinnati, one of the hottest teams in Major League Soccer. They have won 7 of their last 8 matches, including the 2 Open Cup matches to get to this point. So they are a side playing very well and very much going for it. Jesse March now in his 3rd season. He's starting a very much first-team lineup tonight against FC Cincinnati. Wiedemann getting a touch on it, making a run into the attacking third for the first time. Couldn't center it and send it out along the end line. It'll be a goal kick for Ryan Mara, a goalkeeper who FC Cincinnati is familiar with because he was with Red Bulls too last season.
You talked about, obviously, Red Bulls are coming in fantastic form, Tommy, the last few games. Some great performances. I think the one thing that FC Cincinnati will try to use to their advantage, at least, is the pressure is all on the Red Bulls tonight.
Long ball was sent in the direction of Bradley Wright Phillips, the prolific scorer for the visiting side. Disrupted by Harrison Delbridge, but quickly picked back up by Red Bulls, and Kamar Lawrence pulls it over to the near side. Now the touch goes back onto the foot of Damian Perronel. Left side Klestjen. Sasha Klestjen out of Huntington Beach, California, leads the club with 12 assists, and when the ball comes to his foot, you better get there in a hurry.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the team leader being the captain as well, so he's going to be a very influential player tonight for the Red Bulls.
Foul called on FC Cincinnati right in front of Alan Koch. Koenig a bit strong there on the attack, trying to get it back, and knocked over Perronel.
It just showed a little bit of eagerness to try to get the ball back. Just results in a free kick, which really let Red Bull at least possess and get back into the attack.
Michael Amir Murillo sends it out near touchline. Throw-in coming for FC Cincinnati. Inside of the attacking third, Matt Boehner starting in right fullback tonight will come over to toss it in.
I think a key for FC Cincinnati tonight, once they get into the attacking half of the attacking third of the Red Bulls, can they get numbers forward? These are all opportunities to try to break down, create a number advantage, and hopefully get a scoring opportunity.
Red Bulls were there on the throw-in, knocked it away again. It was Kamar Lawrence, the Jamaican defender, 5'10", has 16 MLS starts this season. Koenig received it on the throw-in, knocked it back out to Boehner, quickly double team, breaks that double team, and has it knocked away to Austin Berry, the club's captain. Berry played it up the right side, but nobody was making the run, neither Wiedemann or Koenig able to get to it, and New York will comfortably let it roll out along the end line.
I think Matt Boehner's just got to be a little bit more confident there in possession. He's good enough to kind of soak up pressure and keep that possession going and keep the ball in that attacking third.
Perronel up the middle, now out wide to the left, Lawrence. Touched forward right in front of FC Cincinnati's bench, and New York does well to keep it alive. Alex Wheel trying to track it down, the Georgetown product, one of a handful of homegrown players on this New York Red Bulls roster. Unable to keep it alive, and Mitch Hildebrand wastes no time pushing the pressure the other way.
I think you'll see this too. This ball from Harrison Delbridge maybe a little bit more direct to start with and try to test this Red Bulls defense and try to get in behind them if they can. You're going to see that often tonight, Tommy, as the game goes on. You know, they're going to pick the times in transition to really attack the space in the wide areas if they can.
Talked about FC Cincinnati being calm early, also feeding off the energy of this capacity crowd here at Nippert Stadium. Boehner trying to center it, goes off of Felipe and comes out. So another throw in, and the orange and blue active here in the first 5 minutes.
Yeah, absolutely. I talked about, you said about the energy from the fans. They just got to make sure that they're not getting too carried away. They've got to stick to the game plan, especially in defense, and make sure that they get back in those moments of transition.
Wright Phillips got it up the middle. Kenny Walker brought pressure, and he dropped it back onto the foot of Murillo. Murillo will work on Aiden Quinn, who's seen more minutes of late for Alan Koch. Chipped forward in the direction of Wright Phillips, knocked out wide by Sem DeVitt.
He's a big guy. Obviously, you talked about Kleshton already. Felipe is another guy that's really a big part of Red Bull's attack. Kind of that pivot in midfield for them.
Red Bull's able to keep it alive, and then Kamar Lawrence from 25 yards away sails it right where the uprights would be if American football was being played at Nippert Stadium tonight, into the Bailey. And quickly another goal kick coming from Hildebrandt. Of course, the last time FC Cincinnati was home in the Open Cup, Mitch Hildebrandt was fantastic. The 3 penalty kick saves against Chicago Fire. Great ball up the left side of Justin Hoyt. Hoyt looking it into the middle in the direction of Wiedemann. Onto the foot of Boehner. He saw Koenig making the run and couldn't quite connect with him.
It's kind of the second time we've just seen Boehner. Just needs to take a little bit of a extra second if he can to compose himself. He's certainly good enough to do it.
Boehner to bone. FC Cincinnati had good movement in the pass to Wiedemann, didn't get there. Coronel will send it into the middle, looking for Bradley Wright Phillips. Looked like he came off his hand, wasn't called. Kenny Walker there to bring defensive pressure. Red Bulls with a lot of speed, keeping it alive.
That's where I just talked about Felipe as well. He's kind of that guy. He's always going to be on it. He's got great energy. He's going to always support, you know, the defenders and link that defense to attack. He's going to be a guy that Andrew Wiedemann's got to try to take out of the game, meaning stopping him from playing.
Ball skipped by Harrison Delbridge there, but Justin Hoyt was back defensively to clear it away. They'll come across midfield, and that is where New York will regroup. First ever meeting between these two teams. Those Red Bulls are an original Major League Soccer club. Started as the New York, New Jersey Metro Stars back in 1996, and 10 years later changed to their current name as New York Red Bulls. Looking for Bradley Wright Phillips, number 99 in the white top tonight. The forward out of London, England. Father could play a little football as well.
Not a bad player. Ian Wright, obviously one of the all-time greats for Arsenal. Bradley Wright Phillips certainly has a lot of his traits too. Big, strong, fast, can finish. You know, it's going to be a tough test for, we talked about at the start, Harrison Delbridge, but even Sam and Austin Berry, they're going to have their hands full tonight. Keep a guy of Wright Phillips, talent in check.
14 goals on the season, third in Major League Soccer right now for Wright Phillips. 2 golden boots to his professional resume with the Red Bulls. And the club beat 3-1 when he scores this season. Here's a ball for Wright Phillips, headed away by Delbridge.
Just see that intent too. You know, Phillips, I talked about, has got a lot of power. Tons of speed to get in behind, so tough job. They've got to switch on the entire time. FC Cincinnati's back line.
Wheel working on the right side. 9th minute, we are scoreless at Nippert Stadium in the U.S. Open Cup semifinal. Winner gets Kansas City September 20th. Kenny Walker is going to be called for a foul at a dangerous spot.
I think Kenny there too, he feels like he got the ball. It's going to be a tough thing tonight, and talking with Alan during the week too, you can't give a team like Red Bulls that many set pieces. You know, they're going to be able to execute. This guy Sasha Kleshton over the ball, he's got a great, fantastic delivery. And anytime that you're fouling kind of in and around the box, it's a dangerous situation to set up for.
Sasa Kleshin has the club record for assists and game-winning assists. He's assisted on 12 goals this season. First time we've seen a set piece for either club tonight. Wiedemann heads it away as it was fed inside the 18. Back onto the foot of Wright Phillips. Back-heeled it. Aiden Quinn stepped up, cleared it, but it came out to Lawrence. Lawrence with his left foot, and his shot is high and wide.
A little ambitious by Lawrence, but again, you know, it's not even the first delivery. Tommy, it's the second and third opportunities that Allen's going to be preaching to his team with these set pieces. They can't take any time off. They can't lose focus. They make sure that they defend those set pieces well.
It's Hildebrand setting out into the midfield for Boehner. He got his head on it. Koenig trying to track it down with two defenders on him. He does. Koenig just outside the 18. Back to Boehner. Boehner gets a shot off. Ryan Merritt tracked it well and pulled it in for the save.
Much better by Matt Boehner. Goes up very bravely in that challenge. Wins the header. It's a little 1-2 with Danny Koenig, and those are the positions that Matt Boehner wants to be in. In past the fullback, whipping balls across the box.
Burnell forward to Muil. Muil dropped it into the box. Bradley Wright Phillips coming hard as Mitch Hildebrand. Hildebrand had to come off his line and made contact with Red Bull's striker. Quickly back up to his feet. Wasn't any intent from Wright Phillips there.
And again, just this little flick on the wits. I talked about it earlier. He's got to always be aware where Wright Phillips is. That blistering pace and speed. Can't give him a yard.
He snuck right past Sam DeVitt, who was sent off in the match on Saturday against Louisville, one that I think FC Cincinnati fans would rather not discuss. All the focus now on the Cup semifinal after the disaster down the road Saturday night.
I think for Sam DeVitt tonight, he's just got to respect Wright Phillips' pace, you know. Maybe his starting position's a yard or 2 yards deeper. He's not trying to make it a level foot race.
Felipe will drop it into the midfield. Centering pass deflected away, and then Kleshin going to send it off to the left. Lawrence. The Jamaican drops it back. A foul is called on Kenny Walker. About 5 yards away from the last one, and another dangerous spot coming here for New York.
I just talked about, obviously, with that delivery. Ball comes across. Kleshin, this is where he wants to be. Just a little bit of a check by Aiden Quinn.
Aiden Quinn, yeah.
Results in a free kick. Be smart, you know, there's no need there. Ball's not on his feet.
So Quinn is called for the foul. FC Cincinnati going to set up now. As Kleshin will stand over it. The 6'1" midfielder. Also has Felipe there.
Dangerous area here, Tommy.
Felipe makes the run, takes the shot, and lands right in the chest of Mitch Hildebrand for a save. Chance of Mitch says no, come from the Bailey.
Interesting tonight to see how much, you know, FC Cincinnati try to build out of the back. Red Bulls are a team that presses historically. Dealing with that athleticism to try to press you in your own defensive third is going to be tough. So far, the indicator, at least, Tommy's been they're going to play a little bit more direct and try to break that press.
Hildebrand will slow it down top of the 18. And then send it out into the midfield for Boehner, able to keep it in along the touchline. Red Bulls, however, quickly collect. And Austin Berry sends it across the middle. Justin Hoyt, who was playing high, had to come back and recover, did well in doing so. And FC Cincinnati able to push left to right.
Good ball.
Boehner the ball. Out wide, Wiedemann. Wiedemann on the cross over the head of Koenig. Boehner unable to collect it. Wheel comes over for Red Bulls.
Been impressed so far with Wiedemann and Koenig. I think their movement in between it in those transitional moments has been very good. They've linked up well. They're trying to find those channels, Tommy, that I've talked about.
Alan Koch has 20 goals between his 3 strikers. However, 2 of them not available tonight. Long ball does not get to Wright Phillips. GB suspended on yellow cards, as we mentioned. And then Kyle Gregg, who's a midseason acquisition, not eligible for the match today. Mitch Hildebrand diving to his right on the shot that goes just wide. Didn't touch it. Goal kick coming up for FC Cincinnati's very consistent goalkeeper.
Yeah, again, they just got to be careful. I think that comes from Kenny Walker playing a blind pass. Kleshin, I think, picked it up, and that's where a team like Red Bull they're not going to give you too many opportunities to do that. They're going to take advantage, try to kill you forward.
Matt Banner will have a throw in right in front of his own bench. 14th minute, we are scoreless. Tom Glider alongside Kevin McCloskey, Lindsey Patterson down on the sideline. Thrilled to bring you this broadcast tonight and hope that it is not the end of the magical run for the orange and blue. Quinn with the ball down the left for Hoyt. Justin tracks to it first, then gets pressure from behind from Tyler Adams, able to keep control. Back to Quinn. Wheel came in to break it up. Actually, that was question.
Pressure to get it back again. So far, Tommy, you know, like I talked about with Wiedemann and Koenig, I think the attacking third stuff for FC Cincinnati, so far at least, has been very, very positive. A little bit more patience, maybe in the wide areas. I talked about with Boehner and even Justin Hoyt.
Delbridge with the ball just a bit long for Danny Koenig. Put his foot out trying to bring it down, and it bounced into the chest of Ryan Mara, the 6'4" goalkeeper out of Crestwood, New York. Has been with the first team all year, but it does not have an MLS appearance. I mentioned it earlier, this is his 4th Open Cup start in as many matches for New York.
And defensively tonight, you're going to see a deep line, kind of a low block there. They're not going to be in a rush to try to confront the Rebels out of the back.
Koenig one-on-one the other way on the pass, didn't get there before Aaron Long cleared it out wide. Quinn fighting to win it back, finally does, but it bounces right to the Red Bulls. Into the middle, question. As Lawrence out wide to the left and finds him. Boehner trailing just outside the 18. Set into the middle and it just misses. Bradley Wright Phillips on a dangerous ball.
Dangerous pass in by Lawrence. Did well just to kind of open up. Shows true pace here just to push it past this touch here, past Boehner. What a ball in across the net. Mitch does well with it. Ends up being a comfortable save, but dangerous ball in.
Delbridge was looking for a long ball. Hoyt held up on the run, and it rolls all the way back to Ryan Mara inside of the 18. How do you feel about the pace here through the first 16 minutes, and how does that play maybe to FC Cincinnati's favor?
I think so far, I think they've defended well. I think the transition moments have been good. I think they've got numbers into the attack. You know, you've obviously got to respect Red Bulls attack and get back and stay compact with it. I think the biggest thing they've got to be careful, they can't make this a foot race. They can't be up and back. So FC Cincinnati want to play direct, but they've got to pick and choose. They've got to keep the ball a little bit and hopefully get some rest with it.
Murillo with some space out wide to the right, falls to the foot of Wheel at the top of the 18, poked away by FC Cincinnati. Red Bulls regain control in the midfield. Will pull it down in the midfield, push it out wide to the right, Aaron Long. Question, working around Aiden Quinn.
Biggest thing, Tommy, you'll see too from Red Bulls tonight, they're so comfortable under pressure. It doesn't matter if it's, you know, a kind of deep, compact defensive line for FC Cincinnati. In between those spaces, they're just so comfortable. Good technique, good awareness. Felipe is the guy, obviously pulls the strings for the Red Bulls.
New York's are showing great patience there, working around the attacking third. Justin Hoyt able to clear it out to midfield. New York will actually turn and push it all the way back to the goalkeeper. So good effort there by FC Cincinnati. You'll see their shape right now, dropping with 5 defenders. Really comes out to be a 5-3-1-1 when they're falling back defensively.
Biggest thing, I tell you, and you know that they can keep it in here in this middle third. It's not going to kill them at least. The dangerous area, Tommy, to look for is once they go in for that middle third into the attacking third. That's where they can't give the Red Bulls so much space. Turn and try to create 2 yards.
Wheel misplays it, and a throw-in coming for the home side. I talked about the great play of late, 7 of 8 victories, including 2 Open Cup wins for New York. They were perfect during the month of July, didn't lose a match. Second time in club history that they had a perfect month where they won every game they played in. Quinn with a great ball forward for Justin Hoyt. Let's see what he can do with it. Hoyt slows it down just outside the 18, trying to get into the middle to Koenig. Falls to the foot of Aiden Quinn, and his shot goes high. No trouble there for Ryan Mara.
I like that decision again by Quinn. Justin Hoyt does a great job getting done. Great ball by Aidan Quinn to start this. Does well. He understands. He's not as fast as he was. Looks back. I think it's a good decision. And I love this. Little touch up. Volley. Just unlucky that it couldn't get on frame, but great confidence by Aidan Quinn.
18-year-old Tyler Adams tracking 32-year-old Justin Hoyt.
Sometimes you know, Tommy.
Hoyt's played in some big ones along the way. You know, a lot of talk this week that for many of the FC Cincinnati players as a foul is called on Danny Koenig. Got his arm wrapped around Felipe.
I think again, Felipe does a great job of protecting the ball, uses his body. Kind of overzealous a little bit. Gives away another free kick. I know Alan Koch is not going to be thrilled about this. So far, they probably had about 4 good opportunities from set pieces.
Question with his right foot. Chipping it forward. It's going to come off the head of Matt Boehner, and we'll have the first corner kick of the night. Scoreless in the 20th minute. It'll come from the near side, left of our broadcast location. And Question will go over to take it.
Certainly see the intent of Redbirds tonight with their lineup, Tommy.
They went with a full first team, aside from the goalkeeper, who they started their second team goalkeeper. This is their regular starting lineup. This is when they started in a 3-1 victory against Orlando on Saturday night.
To be honest, I think it's disrespectful to your opponent if you're not going to come in, you know, to a semi-final and try to set up that way.
Red Bulls have never won the Open Cup. Into the box, headed away by DeVitt. Boehner will clear it in the midfield. They've actually only played in the Cup final once. They're 1-3 all time in the Open Cup semifinals. That one win came against DC United in 2003. That was the last time they made it to the semifinals, so a 14-year drought.
Let's get a look at Lawrence here. This is might be, you talked about set pieces, just the length of that throw. Could be a dangerous weapon as the game goes on. There's this ball close enough to 40 yards.
He had cheated out across midfield, so they're going to make him throw it in again. And FC Cincinnati certainly will be prepared for it as he plays it short this time. Sean Davis will send it directly into the air. Quinn heads it down. Wiedemann looking to pick it up.
It's going to be an interesting battle between Wiedemann and even Koenig with the center back Long. Saw a couple of instances, I think Danny Koenig might have the pace of Long.
Wiedemann along the end line, couldn't quite catch up with the pass from Corbin Bone. The third member of our broadcast team is Lindsey Patterson. Let's head down to the sideline and check in.
Guys, we've talked about playing off of that Nippert Energy New York set prior to the match. We know Cincinnati's a very good team, but we know their environment is an equalizer, if not a huge advantage for them tonight.
Yeah, no doubt being at home, having already beat 2 MLS teams here at Nippert Stadium. Big advantage for the orange and blue.
Confidence is high, Tommy. You know, the biggest challenge obviously was that game on Saturday. We don't want to talk about it, but it still happened. It's in the context of this conversation. I think already it's, hey, we're back home. We've done this before. Let's try to get something from this game. And the trip to the final, that's, again, another chapter in this history book.
No doubt FC Cincinnati, the underdog tonight, hanging in right now with the Red Bulls. Bradley Wright Phillips working inside of the 18. Harrison Delbridge does a fantastic job to keep it in along the end line. It ends up going out on the touchline, a throw-in. Much better situation than a corner kick.
Yeah, it did enough, but, you know, talk about skill. Wright Phillips is backpedaling. Ball comes off his thigh, nice and easy. Cool and collected, flicks it over Harrison Delbridge. Just unlucky, couldn't really get a strike off.
Centering ball in the direction of Wright Phillips, comes over his head. Delbridge got a piece of it. Boehner trying to get to it first. Lawrence there as well, and a foul is going to be called on Matt Boehner, a bit too aggressive. Alan Koch doesn't agree with the call.
This area here, Tommy's kind of less dangerous at least. Yeah, thought that they try to kind of restart the ball and get it back in, but whether or not it's a foul, they've got to be careful how they approach the pressure and how they apply that pressure.
So FC Cincinnati, halfway through the first half, scoreless against their third MLS side during this magical cup run. And we saw it in the match against Columbus here at Nippert. We saw it in the match.
This is this race I was talking about.
Danny Koenig trying to get there first, and it actually comes off to his right. Now he'll hold on to it along the touchline.
Yeah, did
And
well.
he draws a foul.
Really well. I'm thinking right now, if I'm seeing that 1v1 battle, I'm going to try to create that as many times as I can in the game. Danny Koenig, again, hard worker, but has that pace. Just another example there where he gets passed long. The foot raced as well. Danny's great at using his body as well, just to separate, get body position. Smart here and ends up drawing the foul. Fantastic play.
Aiden Quinn will come up with his left foot to take the first dangerous free kick opportunity of the night for FC Cincinnati. Chants of FCC echo throughout Nippert Stadium in the 25th minute. Quinn strikes it, sends it into the 18, hooking towards the goal for Danny Koenig, and Ryan Mara got there first.
Love that decision, just trying to test that goalkeeper. We talked about it, not the starting goalkeeper, has played in all of the Open Cup games, but put it into the back post and see how he deals with it right from the start. Love that decision by Aiden Quinn.
Mara has played 4 matches now all season long, compared to Luis Robles, the Iron Man of Major League Soccer, who has 23 starts and 163 consecutive starts for New York Red Bulls. Since he joined the team, he started every single league match in goal.
We're seeing that battle again by Wright Phillips and DeWitt. You know, I think a big thing that Alan's probably got to remind Kenny Walker, hey, you're the defensive midfielder, you've got to drop and screen to create a 2v1 in defense. You know, Wright Phillips got to stop the ball coming to his feet. That allows DeWitt to drop off a little bit and create those yards that he needs against a player with pace.
Red Bulls will work it forward through the midfield. Gainer on a sliding tackle, maybe disrupted, and now it's won by Kenny Walker.
Still a bit of patience here. Need to slow down a little bit. Try to get possession back.
Bone battling with Tyler Adams. Adams will bring it forward out wide to the right. Into the final third for New York. Question right outside the 18.
Well done again.
Danny Koenig held off the Red Bulls there.
Absolute workhorse, Tommy.
Koch knew he was going to need that from his striker tonight. Wasn't going to be only an attacking position. And Koenig has been hustling here in the first 26 minutes.
I think New York have certainly had the better possession. They've had some good opportunities where they're combining in the attacking half, but not a lot of stuff's really come off. It's not been so fluid in its play, Tommy. Now that's, again, going back to the Chicago game, usually where frustration starts to kind of creep in with the favorite, right? They're expecting it for these things to come off, these combinations to come off. Be interesting to watch as this game develops.
Hildebrand sent it out across midfield. Was headed away by New York, so a throw in for Matt Boehner. This match sold out online in 7 hours. That involved FC Cincinnati's ticket site crashing, coming back on, and still able to sell the remaining 16,000 or so tickets in just 7 hours. Not exactly sure what the number will be, but we expect it to be in the range of 33,000 plus. So it won't quite set the U.S. Open Cup record, but it'll be that close.
Unbelievable.
Think about the previous 4 games. 81,756 fans have come to the previous 4 matches here at Nippert in the Open Cup.
I think, you know, obviously last week was the anniversary, 2-year anniversary. Yeah. 2 years ago, Tommy, this didn't even exist. The fact that we're here witnessing a semi-final game at Nippert, sold out.
Tells you how special this is with Don Garber sitting 2 booths to our left, Commissioner of Major League Soccer. Great opportunity there for Corbin Bone as he got it onto his foot in the box and couldn't do much with it, and there is Don Garber sitting 2 booths to our left, taking things in. To his left, Sunil Gulati, president of the United States Soccer Federation.
Both look very relaxed and enjoying themselves, I think, Tommy.
I mean, those are 2 pretty big names in the American soccer spectrum watching this semifinal here tonight in Nippert.
What a spectacle it is. Fantastic for this city, this game in the city especially.
Played forward just outside the 18. Question gets a shot off, but it goes wide to the right of Mitch Hildebrand. No danger there. FC Cincinnati all time in this tournament, 6-1-0. 1-1 last season. Of course, the loss came at Tampa Bay. their second match of the 2016 Open Cup. And then a special run with 5 wins that began on May 17th with a 1-0 victory in extra time. Think about that against AFC Cleveland. Then against rival Louisville City as Bradley Wright Phillips brings it back into the attack. Sends it in, takes it off his foot. Forward for Koenig, who is cut down in the midfield, and the foul is called. Free kick coming up for FC Cincinnati, but May 31st, the win against rival Louisville City, 1-0. Then June 14th, everybody thought that was going to be the biggest soccer match this city ever saw. And at the moment it was a 1-0 victory with a GB game winner against Crew SC. Then 2 weeks later, the biggest match this city has ever seen. On June 28th, a win. The rain-delayed game. And the win at Miami with another goal from GB. And tonight, again, the biggest soccer match this city has ever seen.
I talked about it, Tommy. I mean, it just seems like every 3 weeks, 4 weeks, a new chapter is being written in the history of this franchise and this team. And all credit goes, obviously the people behind the scenes that are selling the tickets and making things happen, but the coaching staff and the players have been fantastic.
Wiedemann drops it into the box. Aiden Quinn can't quite get there, but Wiedemann will pull down the clearance. Turns, sends it in with his right foot. Knocks it off to Corbin Bone! Corbin Bone has done it! A first half strike puts the orange and blue on top, 1-0.
But a touch, looks where the goalkeeper is, puts him the wrong way. Cool finish.
Koenig with the assist. Bone with the strike. And they absolutely love what they have seen thus far here at Nippert Stadium. You know, we talked about it a lot, Kevin. Corbin Bone has been that close to scoring all season long. And he finally finds the back of the net in fantastic fashion.
Oh, what a finish, Tommy. We've talked about it. He's been very dynamic this season. I think it took him probably a couple of weeks to kind of get into his flow and understand what Alan Koch was expecting from him. But these last set of weeks, confidence has grown. He's got himself into really dangerous positions. Just been unlucky, and tonight, what a cool finish.
That goal by Corbin Bone is the first from an FC Cincinnati player in the run of play by someone not named GB in this tournament.
Tom, I can tell you this, I have not experienced that noise level in this city in a professional sport. Unbelievable.
Red Bulls quickly looking for an equalizer as Adams sends it into the 18. Hoyt turns it away and Quinn into the midfield. Red Bulls right back to the attacking third. Maynard challenging on Lawrence, and remember that whole play set up with Andrew Wiedemann getting the ball to Danny Koenig.
Big thing now, Tommy, can't switch off, can't let emotions kind of get the better of you. Yes, the crowd's behind you. You've got to get back. Defensive responsibility is going to be the difference in this game.
Just look back down the field and keep doing what you're doing. FC Cincinnati's played very well for the first 30 minutes. The Bailey is rocking right now above midfielder Grant as he sends the goal kick out into the midfield. Lawrence won the header, but it came over to Bone and now Walker.
Danny Koenig again being a menace. He's got to be careful a little bit with his arms, but hey, that's the style of his play. He's a very aggressive center forward. He's not backing away, I'll tell you that.
Not at all. Felipe and Koenig come head to head after Purnell, who he fouled, had some words for him. Damien Purnell from France. Danny Koenig from Denmark. He took exception. A little bit of pushing and shoving there.
Exchanging numbers, I'm sure.
Yeah. Dinner plans for later tonight, maybe?
Probably.
So no booking. Soren Stoica comes over to resume peace. And Red Bulls will try to work it across midfield.
Got to slow down now. Manage it a little bit. Still a lot of time left, obviously, before the half, but don't need to be in a rush. I think the only thing I was going to say just before the goal time, I think the biggest thing that they really need to, FC Cincinnati really need to improve on, is just that patience once they win that ball back. And with a little bit more composure. Be interesting now to see how Red Bulls kind of react to this. They change their style, their strategy. Lots of time left though.
Ball tipped back in the direction of Aaron Long. It skips over to Ryan Mara. And we get things moving forward. Murillo on to the right, now into the middle, Felipe. Sent forward from Wheel. Wheel trying to get around Matt Painter, who does well defensively. Cleared out. Red Bulls recover quickly. Felipe again forward. He went to Wheel, then right Phillips. Harrison Delbridge there to get rid of it.
Nice play by the Red Bulls. Talk about confidence.
Wheel tipped it forward to Lawrence. Great job defensively by the Orange and Blue to close in and break it up.
Yeah, great tight play by the Red Bulls. I think it was Sam DeVitt actually ended up having the all-important tackle.
Walker will clear it up the right side. Do a round of applause here in Cincinnati. New York 12-9-2 in MLS play this year. 8-2-2 at home, where they've been very good at Red Bull Arena. 4-7-0 on the road.
Just noticing right here, we talked about that line of confrontation. They don't want to chase. They want to kind of shepherd the play in if they can into that middle area, and then try to apply that second wave or level of pressure.
Now, Kevin, we talked about it a lot this week leading up to the match and on the two broadcasts against Columbus and Chicago, that FC Cincinnati, as the match went on, and both those matches were scoreless for a long time. Of course, Chicago went to penalty kicks at 0-0, but you could feel the confidence grow for FC Cincinnati just at 0-0. Being at 1-0 advantage has to give them that much more confidence here in the first half.
I think, yeah, of course. I think the biggest thing that's impressed me is how they've just kind of approached it. You know, they're not fazed by it. And that talks about the experience that they've been in these games before. Just kind of carrying on about their work and executing, right? That's the key. We talked about that at the very start.
Well, the execution, flawless on the ball into Danny Koenig. It came off his chest. Corbin Bone buried it. His first goal in any competition this year, and it was a big one for the club.
I think just that understanding you talked about, obviously Danny Koenig being able to kind of set that, but the understanding from Wiedemann into Danny Koenig, and then the finish by Bone, that was beautiful.
Question knocks it down, immediately finds Wright Phillips. Swarmed by Delbridge and DeVitt, and cleared away by FC Cincinnati. Painter up the right side. Koenig making the run will get there first.
He's got to slow down, try to bring an extra player into the attack if he can.
Painter thought he had someone behind him as he came off his back heel. There was a player there. Unfortunately, it was Kleshin for New York.
He's looking. He thinks Aidan Quinn's going to check back into that space. Ends up playing the pass line.
Alex Muil, the homegrown product for New York, has it taken off his foot by Austin Berry. Second corner kick of the night coming up for Red Bulls.
Matt Painter's defense there too. He just covered about 90 yards for me from that transitional play. It's never easy when you go that distance and make a decision.
Question will take it. Comes into the middle. Wiedemann playing back defensively, knocked it out. New York able to maintain possession. Chipped over to the left side. Wheel got his head on it.
Brilliant by Kenny Walker. Talk about composure. Inside of your own box, takes a little touch off, turns and volleys at the clearance.
My point earlier got broken up a little bit, but a lot of the talk was that for a lot of the FC Cincinnati guys, that this was the biggest match they would ever play in. And for some, yes, absolutely. But guys like Anthony Wiedemann had a nice career in Major League Soccer. Kenny Walker played in some really big matches for LA Galaxy and was part of a club that won an MLS Cup. Same for Austin Berry, being MLS Rookie of the Year. And Danny Koenig has some pretty big-time international experience. So there's guys who played in some pretty big matches along the way, not to take anything away from what we're seeing here tonight.
No, and obviously not to downplay this game, but this has become normal, Tommy. You know, this is it's an everyday occurrence, but we've seen this so many times now. The opposition, the occasion. know, the chance to kind of go on and continue to grow this program and this franchise.
Shot from Purnell comes off the head of Semdevitt up into the Bailey. Corner kick coming from the far corner. Previous two have come from the near side. Question will go over there to take it.
Can't leave a free man in this. I mean, Red Bulls have scored a lot of headers from corner kicks this year.
Here's the service to Lawrence. He was wide open, knocked down by FC Cincinnati. We're going to try to get a run going in transition. Touch from Aiden Quinn was intended for Corbin Bone, a bit too strong, and Tyler Adams was able to get there first.
I think that's a good decision actually by Aiden Quinn. He recognizes he's 2 against 4. They're out of position. Playing that ball into the corner rather in the middle of the field allows them a little bit of time to get back. Felipe too is taking a very deep position by the Red Bulls. I think for him at least, he wants to probably get in that next line, connect with Kleshnan a little bit more.
Felipe, a player with 176 career Major League Soccer starts. Ball in the middle, right Phillips has it on his foot and the shot goes just wide. It bounced back to him. He was trying to center it, came back to him in a very dangerous spot at the top of the 18, but he wasn't able to find a clean look.
Oh, we just saw how quick he was to pull that trigger, Tommy, too. Just obviously not on target, but that half chance that came back, straight away he was in a position to pull that trigger. Just sends the ball wide.
Goal kick coming from Mitch Hildebrand. His right-footed ball is headed down at midfield. Boyle keeps it in along the touchline. Right, Phillips wanted a foul call as he headed it. Wiedemann unable to get to the ball before it skips into the chest of Ryan Mera.
Just on that last play there, I think Arson's better option probably is Justin Hoyt just on the diagonal angle of that pass.
Galbraith was looking forward for Aiden Quinn. He was knocked down. No foul was called on Question, who now controls the ball as he gets around Kenny Walker. Feeds it forward from Wheel. Wheel inside the 18, takes a shot that bounces forward to Mitch Hildebrand. Didn't get a clean look despite a couple of defensive breakdowns there for FC Cincinnati.
I think just FC Cincinnati again, I've got to be careful. You know, they don't have to dive in and win every ball. This is the pass there. Could have went either way. Free kick. He's probably saying that he didn't see him and he stepped in and won the ball back. But to my point, and to finish that point, Tommy, I think they've just got to be careful. Top of the box, they can't dive in. Really, they've just got to continue to shepherd and shadow away from goal if they can. Otherwise, they're going to give him another opportunity from a set piece or free kick.
Bone to his left, Walker. Forward onto the chest of Koenig. Bone will send it out wide right. Maynard turns, slows it down back to Hildebrand. Red Bulls have scored 3 goals in their previous 3 Open Cup matches to get to this semifinal. 3 different scores in each match. Important to note, Daniel Royer, who had the goal against New York City FC in the 67th minute back on June 14th when Red Bulls joined the tournament. He is not available tonight, out with a knee injury. And he is the second leading scorer on the season for New York with 10 tallies in Major League Soccer play.
Yeah, a big player missing tonight, obviously, for the Red Bulls. But make no mistake about it, Tommy. They've got a lot of talent, a lot of firepower out on the field tonight in their 11.
Well, packed house here in the Queen City, enjoying what they have seen so far. Their home club on top 1-0 in the 43rd minute. Ball deflected away by Hoyt, cleared out by Kenny Walker. Wiedemann looking at the run down the left side. Red Bulls able to recover back to Mera.
Starting to approach the halftime, Tommy. Got to be a little bit more conservative, get back into that defensive shape. Don't really need to confront. I think big thing now on this pass, Danny Koenig and Andrew Wiedemann's got to get back in and close up that middle space for those first and second balls.
Comes out on the near touchline off of FC Cincinnati. Quick throw in for New York. Question came high with his boot on a nice ball to find Alex Muil. But the match official not happy with how close the boot came to the face and blows his whistle. Free kick coming for FC Cincinnati. Soren Stoika, our match official tonight. I mentioned that he made his MLS debut in 2012. That was a match in New Jersey. New York Red Bulls won 1-0 over the Houston Dynamo. He made his MLS debut against Red Bulls and officiating a big one here tonight. Boehner trying to sneak forward a few steps before taking the throw in.
I think so far, obviously just talking about the referee crew, I think they've done a good job, Tommy. I think they've been pretty consistent.
Absolutely. Wiedemann keeps it alive. Crosses it into the middle, comes off the foot of Aaron Long, and FC Cincinnati will get a look at a corner kick for the first time tonight.
Excitement again around the crowd. Anytime that you want to get a set piece, be right almost on the stroke of halftime. Another opportunity to maybe try to get something from it.
Aiden Quinn will come to the near side and take it with his left foot.
Aiden Quinn's obviously a guy with wicked delivery as well. We've seen that all season long, Tommy.
Delbridge, Koenig, Boehner, Barry, and Wiedemann, the targets inside the box. Quinn sends it. Koenig couldn't quite get there. It bounces out to the foot of Wheel. Bone battling with Sean Davis.
Davis does extremely well. Lost under a lot of pressure by Corbin Bone. Got to applaud that.
We roll on to stoppage time with FC Cincinnati on top 1-0. 1 minute of stoppage time. Signaled by the fourth official. Ryan Mara had to come outside of the 18, headed out far touchline. FC Cincinnati will have a throw in. Maybe one more offensive chance before heading to the locker room.
Biggest thing here is just that preventative coverage and that shape. Throw-ins can be volatile at times where you give possession straight back to the opposition and they're trying to hit you, try to exploit you if they can.
You even saw it on the corner kick. Justin Hoyt, who's often forward on the set pieces, he was back in preventative coverage.
Yeah, if you're Allen, you're hoping that you kind of kill the game off a little bit. Play into Danny Koenig, get here. Try to get maybe another throw, another corner kick if they can. That's not what you want.
Quickly turned the other way by Kleshchin.
Yeah.
Tried to get it forward for Wright Phillips. Harrison Delbridge to intercept the pass. And 45 minutes of soccer in the books at Nippert Stadium with FC Cincinnati on top 1-0. Lindsey Patterson is down on the pitch with Alan Koch. Let's head down there.
Coach, what a confidence booster when Corbin Bone finds the net to get you guys on the board. I know you'll be the first to say there's another 45 to play. How do you guys stay on top?
Do the exact same thing we did in the first 45 minutes. Obviously, we did a very, very good job of defending and preventing New York from obviously getting through. They had a couple chances, and that's inevitable in the 45 minutes. But we know nobody's ever won or lost the game in the first 45 minutes. So we've got to go out and do the exact same thing, and probably even more, to be quite frank, in the second 45 minutes.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Lindsay. We'll hear from Alan Koch again after the match is over. Halfway there in the Queen City as the U.S. Open Cup semifinal. Looking to send somebody to Kansas City September 20th. 45 in the book, still 45 to come. Corbin Bone has given FC Cincinnati a 1-0 advantage. We'll chat with Justin Hoyt when we return. This is FC Cincinnati Soccer. Welcome back to halftime of the Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup here at Nippert Stadium. One of the consistent new additions for Alan Cox this season has been former Arsenal defender Justin Hoyt. Today, we sit down with the Englishman.
As growing up, I was a striker, funny enough. And one time, one of the defenders didn't turn up, and then I ended up as a fullback, and I've played there ever since. I learned to play every position as a youngster, so I think that helps. And being an Arsenal fan, playing for the youth team, and then getting a call to play at Highbury. And the first ever start, before the game, I didn't think I was playing. The player got injured in the warm-up, and then, I got called to play. Centre back, played the first game. Was fantastic, and a moment I'll never forget. When I had the children, your whole life changes really. And I mean, used to go home from training and think, well, what do I do? Now I'm rushing to get home to see the kids, and it's a fantastic feeling really, and one that, when you have kids, you'll understand and cheer in. So yeah, when they come back, for a game, I perform, even better when they're there, because I know I've got the full support, and I want to show just how good, I am to them, and just to show them, this is what your dad does for a living. We played in some big, stadiums in England, and some great atmospheres. But I think the fan base here at Nippert, and for FC Cincinnati is fantastic. I mean, in England we don't get the march before the game that we get FCC, and I think that's fantastic. And I think a lot of teams, in England will learn from that and could take that on board as well. But no, the support we get and the fan base we have at FC Cincinnati and at Nippert Stadium is amazing, really. And it's so glad to play in front of.
Walker to Hoyt, knocks it down. Boom, trying to give it back to Hoyt. Justin Hoyt ties the game at 1 with his first of the year.
No, it was a great feeling, amazing feeling. I was just so happy to, even get the opportunity to even get in a box, and, I finished it quite well. I surprised myself how well I finished it. But no, I mean, if the opportunity comes again, I want to be in the right position to score goals, and if I can score, more than one. But no, it was an amazing feeling to score, at Nippert Stadium. My first goal for the club is a fantastic feeling, and one that I'll always remember, and, I'm thankful for the opportunity.
When we return to the Queen City, Kevin and I take a look at the highlights from the first 45 minutes. That's coming up next. This is FC Cincinnati Soccer.
Catch you up all the way. Kyle, get the stage manager headset on. Put the stage manager headset on in case Dave needs. I can barely hear Dave. Kyle's back if you want to tell me anything. Heard that. Okay, you want a thought on camera or highlights? A thought before highlights? Okay.
Just ask you for questions. You have to go on very long, but just a quick thought. Not right now.
Back at Nippert Stadium, where we are at the half in the Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup semifinal with FC Cincinnati leading New York Red Bulls 1-0. Tom Glitter alongside All-American Kevin McCloskey as the orange and blue have come out. They've executed well through the first 45 minutes, and we heard Alan Koch's game plan before the game. I'd say so far so good, but you heard from the gaffer. He knows that there's still a lot of work to be done.
A lot of time left. You know, I think he's certainly pleased with the performance of the guys so far. They've executed the game plan to a T, but a lot of time left against a very talented New York team.
Well, lots of highlights and scoring opportunities in the first 45 minutes. Tonight's halftime highlights are delivered by PapaJohns.com. When FC scores twice, you get half-price pizzas online. Code FCPizza50. And FC Cincinnati came out with some pressure very early.
Yeah, good ball in by Wiener, whipping it in. Just unlucky with the goalkeeper collected. Obviously, for New York Red Bulls, they're a team with a tremendous amount of talent. This is an opportunity here again by Lawrence. Puts a great ball in. Ends up being comfortable by Mitch Hildebrandt, but dangerous ball into the box.
Just missed the foot of Bradley Wright Phillips, and then Wiedemann with the ball to Koenig and Bone with the finish.
Great understanding. Wiedemann plays a fantastic ball into Koenig. Koenig got a one-touch layoff, and Corbin Boot, cool as you like, past the goalkeeper, puts them in the lead.
Corbin Bone with MLS experience, tallying the only goal of the first half. 9 shots for New York, 4 for FC Cincinnati at the possession. A little bit in favor of the orange and blue.
Interesting stat. If you had asked me that, I probably would have said in favor of New York, but you know, as far as the stats they've come in, I think they've certainly created opportunities, Tommy. I think that's the most important thing. And the difference in the game is that one goal.
Well, still lots of work to do. At least 45 more minutes of soccer coming your way from Nippert Stadium when we return. The orange and blue on top by a goal. This is FC Cincinnati Soccer. FC Cincinnati and New York Red Bulls have returned to the pitch here at Nippert Stadium, where the two teams fighting for a berth in the U.S. Open Cup final on September 20th. Right now, FC Cincinnati with a 1-0 lead. Lindsey Patterson was in the changing room. Let's go down to the pitch and check in with the third member of our broadcast team.
Yeah, guys, I just left about a minute ago. Alan Koch told his team, sit down, relax, but a reminder, nobody's ever won a match in the first half. You have to stay disciplined out there. It only takes one player to find that pocket. We have to manage that space, manage those moments, cut off service. They're going to get frustrated, but get that first and second ball. The upcoming schedule is brought to you by Audi Cincinnati East, bringing you the ultimate Audi experience on Beachmont Avenue. Away against New York Red Bulls, 2 and 1 play on August 9th. Back at Nippert here on Wednesday, August 23rd versus Ottawa. September 2nd, a 4 o'clock match versus Pittsburgh here at home.
All right, thank you, Lindsay. The two clubs will switch sides. FC Cincinnati in their traditional blues and the Red Bulls in their white tops with red shorts as Alan Koch. You saw him pacing there on the bench. No changes for Coach Koch at this point. Jesse Marsh, however, will make one change. Sal Zizzo comes into the match. Damian Perronel comes out. So one adjustment there as they try to find an equalizer over the final 45 minutes.
Sir Alan's just talking. Tell me at halftime, more of the same, really. Going to have to up the performance to match this Red Bull team that's going to be coming out with fire in the second half.
Alan said it going in to the dressing room when Lindsay asked what needed to happen in the second half. He said 45 more minutes just like that, and we'll be in a good place.
And yeah, I think the last remark he said a little bit extra, right?
Yeah. Wiedemann takes the ball off his chest. Unable to do anything with it, and Red Bulls get it right back. They'll work left to right here in the second half. And Tyler Adams, who's been active in this match, cutting across the middle of the pitch. Tries to send it forward for Wright Phillips. Didn't get there. Sem DeVitt got in the way.
Not much on there by Justin Hoyt. Just kind of draws pressure over and ends up getting the throw in.
Hoyt will set to throw it in. Comes off the head of Wiedemann.
A lot of contact with Wiedemann in his back, kind of playing back to goal. A couple of times Long's kind of pushed him a little bit. Before I think Wiedemann's collected himself well and just got on with the game. Surprised there hasn't been, honestly, more fouls called.
And he talked about it towards the end of the first half. Very well officiated match thus far. Wright Phillips sends it across the box. Matt Boehner came over to head it away out along the end line. And the fourth corner kick of the night coming for New York.
I think the Redbirds have done a good job of kind of disguising that physical play, Tommy, really. I agree with you. I think the referees have done a good job. But it's apparent. You can see it anytime that Danny Koenig or Andrew Wiedemann are playing back to goal. There's a lot of pressure coming from behind.
Kleshin will take it far corner to the right of Mitch Hildebrand. 48th minute, 1-0 in favor of the orange and blue. Actually, it's not Kleshin as he was working over trying to get it. The cross was headed away inside of the 18. Quick throw-in coming for New York. It was Felipe who took that corner kick.
Saw this in the first half, Tommy. This is probably going to be a long throw here. Certainly got that Arsenal at least.
Lawrence went to Wheel, who turned on it. And then it was sent out on the far touchline by FC Cincinnati. Red Bulls will throw it in. Lawrence was again cheating forward about 10-15 yards and sent back by Soren Stoika, our match official. One of 3 subs now used by New York. Now Koch has yet to go to his bench. In league matches, you know it's over after 90 minutes. Tonight, you don't know that for sure, so probably changes your expected sub pattern some, knowing that you may have to go 120 and potentially even to penalty kicks. Most of these clubs have seen that once so far in this tournament.
Big thing on that, Tommy, is really just the scoreline. You know, it depends.
Austin Berry battling with Alex Muil, pushed it out on the far touchline. New York will immediately throw it back in.
These are these little pockets that FC have just got to make sure that they track runners, try to deny penetration anytime that they can, and not give Red Bulls those chances. That's where they're most dangerous, this space right here.
Austin Berry's header was lost right outside the attacking third. Red Bulls able to keep it alive. Question gets it over to Adams. Battling there with Kenny Walker. Four different players got a touch on it, and then number 4, Harrison Delbridge, able to clear it out into the midfield.
A lot of contact there in those last 2 or 3 tackles too, Tommy.
Right there at the top of the 18, inside of the area.
It's got to be careful, stay on their feet as much as they can.
Soren Stoico was right there, had a great look at it, didn't blow his whistle. Sean Davis in the midfield. Will switch sides over to the left.
The big thing here too, they can't just drop back and defend. Right in this position, they've got to get some pressure on the ball. They can't kind of sag back too much and allow numbers to get forward for Red Bull and play around the top of the box. Too dangerous. They have to get immediate pressure on this ball.
Adams will work on the right and bring it into the final third. Working 25 yards out. Put it inside the box from Wheel. Delbridge took it off his foot. Walker will turn it forward to Quinn. Now a long ball for Wiedemann. He's onside. Wiedemann heads it down, brings it into the 18. Andrew Wiedemann with a shot. Mera makes a big save.
Good strike by Wiedemann. Does really well to get on target.
Question going to look to counter quickly the other way for the Red Bulls. Working right in front of his own bench. Gutsing it into the middle with Quinn there. Defensively, now Question chips it forward. Wheel will pull it down and sends it over the frame of the goal. Here's the opportunity for Andrew Wiedemann in transition on a great ball from Aiden Quinn.
Good search and ball. I think Wiedemann does a great job of taking his first touch. Honestly, good strike. Ball's bouncing. It's kind of hard to get any other type of direction on that apart from on frame. Goalkeeper came up with a big stop.
Aaron Long did well to stay with him and not give Wiedemann many options. Still Andrew with a good-looking strike as Ryan Mera made the save. The difference in the match right now, if you're just joining us, a goal in the 31st minute by Corbin Bone off an assist from Danny Koenig.
It's the under-hit pass there by Kenny Walker. So Danny Koenig a little frustrated. He sees that matchup again with Long. He saw it in the first half. Obviously, he had the better of him. Anytime that he can get into that 1v1 position, he wants that ball in space, not played short.
Clock rolls on in the 52nd minute. Red Bulls working it across the midfield.
The pressure here, Tommy, just got to be a little bit better. Well played.
Austin Berry got it forward, just short of Matt Boehner. Wheel picks it up at the top of the 18. Over to right, Phillips. And his bouncing shot skips out along the end line.
Phillips is a little frustrated with his own effort there.
Talk about the confidence growing for the Orange and Blue as this match rolls on. We saw it in the crew match, we saw it in the fire match, and we saw frustration from those other two teams as well. And I'd imagine at some point the Red Bulls get a little bit frustrated with the situation as well.
It all goes back to pressure, Tom. I talked about it at the start. You know, it's one of those things. When you're the favorite, you're expected to win. The longer these games go on, the more the pressure adds up, frustration starts to occur, and that's really what FC wants. That's part of their game plan.
It's interesting. I read it in the New York Post. Actually, this morning I read the article, but I saw a lot of tweets and social media about it yesterday. As Hoyt touches it off to Quinn. Quinn with his left foot looking for Koenig, and intercepted, headed away, but FC Cincinnati able to keep the possession.
That's the confidence that you want right there, Tony, as well. Just to be able to kind of interplay between the midfielders. Just overhits that pass a little bit, but it's Corbin Bone, Aiden Quinn, Kenny Walker. I think they've got a great understanding.
Justin Hoyt was offside on the play.
I think back to that Chicago game too. There was probably second half, this stage of the game really, where they started growing in confidence, started really believing and stringing those passes and opportunities together.
Red Bulls left to right. Question, turning it forward. Now Muia will pick it up with Kenny Walker bringing the pressure. Bone recovered. Now Muil's taken down by Walker. And a foul will be called. Wiedemann is shoved away by Question. And Soren Stoika will go over to
talk to him, which is good to see. You know, I think if he allows that to happen without a talk, it sets up the rest of the game for certainly more physical.
Alan Koch wanted his club to be aggressive physically tonight. Facing a side from the top tier of the American soccer pyramid, a chance to defeat an MLS club for the third time at Nippert Stadium this summer.
I think they've got it. You can't give them too much respect, Tommy. Obviously a very talented team, we know that. But you've got to try to make it physical, make them uncomfortable a little bit.
Question goes down along the end line. He wanted a foul called as Kenny Walker was there defensively. He isn't going to get it. Goal kick coming from Mitch Hildebrand.
Good use of his body by Kenny Walker. Just the situation here, a little slip pass through, I think by Kleistin. Body position. Good decision by the referee.
I want to go back to that story about the New York Post article because Bradley Wright Phillips was quoted in that story as saying we should win. We are the better team, so of course we're going to go in and say we should win. And I saw on social media a lot of people were outraged that this needs to be pinned up in the dressing room by Alan Koch, and I don't think that Alan used that as motivation. And I don't really blame. I don't think that Bradley Wright Phillips was disrespecting FC Cincinnati as much as saying, "Hey, we're an MLS club. Wiedemann with a chance, top of the 18, had it on his knee, and good defense there from Murillo to slow down Andrew Wiedemann, who had a golden opportunity."
Another opportunity again, just testing his backline of Red Bull. I think FC have been really good in transition. Anytime that they can get into a foot race, they're putting this defense under a ton of pressure.
Cross from Question, headed down by Matt Banner. Let's look at this run from Wiedemann.
We talked about Danny Koenig having a ton of energy. Andrew Wiedemann's matched that tonight. It's been a great kind of strike partner for him as well, and certainly carried a lot of that workload.
Meanwhile, a chance at an equalizer for the Red Bulls. Question will go far corner to our right and the right of Hildebrand to take it in the 57th minute. Everybody back defensively in blue. Sailed a bit high over all the attacking players. Tyler Adams was able to recover, knocked it off of Koenig, and everybody will flip now to the near side for another corner opportunity.
Chances just can't, we saw in the first half, just can't allow Red Bulls to kind of create that lone man at the back post, unmarked. Got to stay defensively disciplined here. Knowing the switch from the zone to man mark.
Question with his right foot. Inside the 6-yard box, Sendovit clears it into the midfield.
Need to get this back line up here. So far the back three have defended really, really well.
Question with Hoyt on him defensively.
That's the space there where they've just got to apply a little bit more pressure and make sure that they're having those recovery runs. The Corbin Bone, you know, Aiden Quinn and Kenny Walker, big responsibilities for those midfielders today.
There's the shot by Felipe. Not much trouble there for Hildebrand. Wiedemann trying to track down the ball at the other end. Can't quite make that run. He has been active. Second sub coming up for Jesse Marsh as he will go to Gonzalo Verón at the next opportunity. Alex Muil trying to win it back, top of the 18.
I think another thing Alan might be looking at, obviously these guys, Danny Koenig and Andrew Wiedemann, done a great job of putting Aaron Long under a lot of pressure. Good opportunity also change with fresh legs and really test them. Long's covered some ground tonight. Another example right here.
Quinn sent it forward. Koenig tracked it down. Knocked out far touchline. Throw-in coming for FC Cincinnati, but not until after the substitution by New York.
Thinking of just what's on Allen's bench. What options does he have, Tommy? A guy like Jimmy McLaughlin coming off the bench. Kevin Schindler as well. It's got that different level of pace.
Kadeem Dakers.
You know, all of those players really will fit into, and as I said, a really probably tiring New York defense could play into this game plan.
Kadeem has fresh legs. Both these teams played on Saturday. Kadeem didn't play in that match at Louisville City. Jimmy McLaughlin came in the second half, but didn't play the full match. Certainly good opportunities, good options there.
Good tackle
for Alan Cox. Kenny Walker won it, sent it in the box in the direction of Wiedemann, about 2 steps too early for FC Cincinnati's forward.
He plays it on the wrong side of the center back, I think. Andre Wiedemann's kind of peeling off towards the back, maybe a chip pass in instead of a through pass on the ground.
Left side right into the game. Verone trying to get to it along the end line. Austin Berry held him off long enough. Goal kick coming for Hildebrandt. Two-thirds of the way through our second Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup semifinal of 2017. Sporting KC knocked off San Jose last week due to a previous draw. Sporting KC sitting at home tonight watching, knowing they will host on September 20th, regardless of who wins here tonight. Had San Jose won that penalty kick shootout, they would have been heading to either New York or Cincinnati. One of these clubs is heading to Kansas City for a chance to hoist the cup. Tyler Adams draws contact from Justin Hoyt. No whistle, much for the chagrin of the referees.
Well played by Justin Hoyt. Surprised also, I think. Got a little bit of contact.
Quinn up the left side. Danny Koenig trying to get there first. He'll stay with FC Cincinnati as Aaron Long pushed it out. Hoyt stopped himself. Everybody kind of paused. As soon as Hoyt realized there was no whistle, he turned and played the ball forward.
Yeah, definite contact, I think, on that. But after that fact, after that incident, I think Justin Hoyt does a great job not falling under pressure. Very calmly splits the defense and releases the pressure.
Hoyt will throw it in inside the attacking third. Sends it to Wiedemann, now Quinn. Looking for Koenig, headed away by New York. Sent out into the stands, and FC Cincinnati will get another chance to toss it in.
Just going back to kind of your Wright Phillips comment, Tommy, you know, I think one thing too, that's probably taken out of context when he said they should win, right? On paper, they should win. You know, you're comparing salaries, you're comparing status of international experience. No doubt about it.
They should have the better of the team.
They should have.
MLS side.
No question, but there's a lot of talent on this FC Cincinnati team. And the other factors they're playing. They've been there, they've knocked off some big teams, they're home, they've got this fantastic fan base behind them. And right now they're believing something.
Well, Bailey's hoping to believe a little bit more. Kenny Walker will set to take the corner kick from the near side. Walker on the service. Looking for a post. There it is! The hometown hero, Austin Berry, buries it to make it 2-0.
Listen to this crowd again, Tommy. What a response by the crowd. Great delivery in here by Kenny Walker. Austin Berry times his run to perfection. Up. Clinical finish into the back of the net. Great timing, great set piece. Talk about a big time play. What a goal.
Look at the reaction of the fans here in Cincinnati, and you saw it from Austin. His first goal in any competition this season, and it is a huge one as the smoke bombs have gone off in the Bailey, and FC Cincinnati in the 63rd minute leads by 2.
Got to get back to the script, Tommy. Facing a very talented team that can change the game at any point. There's certainly a lot of fire and adrenaline kicking in right now, Tommy.
Well, Danny Quinn just got called for a foul and stood over Tyler Adams for a moment after the fact. So some of that energy and emotion shown there, and all of a sudden FC Cincinnati needs to regroup here and make a defensive stop, not let New York get any confidence and right back into this match.
No, they've got to be very disciplined, very professional with their approach. We talked about it all game long. These set pieces are dangerous. It's what Red Bulls are good at.
Question with the cross. Headed away by Koenig. Cleared by Quinn into the midfield. Mara's going to come all the way out to the midfield circle to play it forward.
He's got to be careful in this.
Question got around Wiedemann.
Got to play the ball not
inside the 18. Delbridge got a foot on it. Goes out along the end line, and now FC Cincinnati can bring everybody back and settle in defensively for the corner. They just announced the sellout attendance, 33,250, the second largest U.S. Open Cup attendance ever. Corner comes across the middle. Koenig clears it outside the 18. Came off of Hoyt. Felipe picks it up, chips it forward. Hildebrand comes to the top of the 6 and holds on to it.
just got to slow down a little bit, Tommy. Regain composure. They defended well. You know, in those intense moments, they've got to make sure that, hey, I have a little bit more time. The pressure's coming. I want to make sure that I clear this ball correctly. I'm not putting another teammate under pressure.
Hildebrand sent it out across midfield with chance of Mitch says no.
Starting to see wingbacks drop in a little bit deeper here, which is fine. I'm going to try to compact that back line.
Question trying to cross it, came off the chest of Delbridge.
I think a big thing that Sam DeVitt and Harrison Delbridge got to make sure that they don't drop that line too far back on me. Just invites Red Bulls to continue to attack in front of them. They've got to hold that line, and anytime the ball is cleared, they step back up, put a little bit extra pressure in front.
I was going to ask you, 25 minutes remaining in this match, a 2-goal lead. When does Alan Koch start to keep maybe 5 guys back defensively and take off some of the offensive pressure, or do you stick with the game plan because it's been successful for 65 minutes?
Oh, you stick with the same formation, right? It's been successful. I think the roles or the responsibilities at least might change. I don't think he's gonna, I don't see this formation changing at all. It's kind of how you set up with it, really.
Wiedemann was chipping it to his left, looking for support from Aiden Quinn. Didn't quite get there. It appears Jimmy McLaughlin's been the most active in talking to the coaches down on the sideline. I would imagine that he will be the first sub for Allen, but has not yet come to midfield to check in.
I think the natural positions to look at, the players that are kind of, I don't want to say as important defensively, but your forwards, right? Even maybe your wing backs. I don't see him making any subs with his 3 center backs.
DeVitt knocked down the cross. Red Bulls keeping it alive. Wiedemann sliding at the top of the 18. Knocked it off of Felipe. And it'll be a throw-in for the orange and blue. Hoyt will throw it in just a few steps off of the corner flag. So a tough spot to bring it in and then try to get it out into the midfield.
Yeah, obviously Red Bulls are going to try to pin him in here and try to press if they can. It's really a flicking or a hook clearance will get them out of trouble.
Wiedemann got the header at least out towards the midfield. Red Bulls win it right back.
Just think the back line setting up a little bit too deep for my liking, Tommy. Got to make sure on these passes, these moments, that they squeeze that space and go forward with it.
Koenig fouled in the midfield as he was trying to turn on the ball, and a good call there will get FC Cincinnati a chance to get the ball across the midfield stripe.
Yeah, big chance to relieve a little bit of pressure here. Kind of catch your breath.
Here's Wiedemann. Back to Hoyt. Now Delbridge and over to Hildebrand.
You've got to allow the pressure to come to you a little bit, right?
Matt Boehner will be called for a foul on the far side. So 33,250 are here tonight to watch FC Cincinnati. That means 125,000 fans have come to watch soccer. 115,000 fans have come to watch Open Cup games. 5 Open Cup games, 115,000 fans over 5 Open Cup matches. Question coming over to chat with Jesse Marsh on the Red Bulls sideline as Jimmy McLaughlin has made his way out to midfield, so that will indeed be the first substitute for Alan Koch.
Talked about Kleschner. I think he's getting a little bit frustrated. He's coming over. And talking with Jesse Marsh and saying, hey, can we change the line, right? I mean, the line is everything. You've got to try to create a number advantage. He's seeing something in the middle there that he wants to exploit or change at least.
Certainly looked like a frantic conversation as he came over to chat with the gaffer. 69th minute, 2-0 FC Cincinnati.
Got to get pressure on these balls.
Sean Davis chipped it forward. Harrison Delbridge headed it away. Davis to the right. Verone into the middle. DeVitt headed it. Alex Muil nearly created a dangerous chance. Tracks it down far touchline.
Just goes back to that line that I'm talking about. Sam DeWitt, Harrison Delbridge. Just got to push up a little bit. Stop inviting Rebels to kind of get inside of really the 18-yard box.
Maria to Felipe. Felipe into the box. And the header goes just wide of Mitch Hildebrandt. Austin Berry was there battling.
I talked about the line. I think the other thing too, I think Mitch Hildebrandt has to help his back line out and come off his line a little bit more. He's got to sweep up in that space.
Here's the substitution for Alan Koch. Danny Koenig, who has battled for 70 minutes, will come out. And the fresh, fast legs of Jimmy McLaughlin come on to provide a spark for the orange and blue.
And we'll see that spark with McLaughlin. Got a great skill set. Also has a fantastic understanding with Andrew Wiedemann. So I like this sub. Danny Koenig, again, worked his tail off. Been very threatening. I think he's given Aaron Long a ton of headaches, really, for the entire game.
When you saw Wiedemann, while McLaughlin was checking in, come over and have a chat with Alan Koch. Make sure everybody's in the right place as Hildebrandt sends the goal kick out into the midfield.
I think you'll probably just see Wiedemann a little bit higher, Jimmy underneath.
Bone will come out wide for Wiedemann. Quickly to McLaughlin.
Good understanding again.
Bone right back to Jimmy.
He's going to try to get player in the box if he can. Justin Hoyt's on this far side.
Wiedemann made the run, but New York had closed in defensively before McLaughlin could find him. And then Jimmy just loses it on the touchline. And a throw in for New York coming now in the 72nd minute. Wright Phillips, who's been relatively quiet tonight, working in the midfield. To the right side, Tyler Adams. Delbridge wins it forward to Wiedemann, and a collision of heads.
It's the first time they called it. They kind of
Wiedemann and
alluded
Sean
to that.
Davis, and both medical staffs will be immediately waved onto the pitch.
To be honest, I think there's probably been 4 or 5 occasions where Wiedemann's got some extreme contact from behind. I think, again, he's been very brave. I think his back to goal play has been good, but finally, I think he's got that right call. And again, I think the referee had a good vantage point.
Take another look at the collision between Wiedemann and Davis.
Davis just catches the back of his head. I think he's going for the ball, but just another example of kind of that pressure that we just had to soak up tonight.
Alan Koch is going to use his second substitution as Kevin Schindler for Justin Hoyt. So fresh legs of the big German at 6'3", the 29-year-old will come on. And Hoyt, who had some fantastic runs in the first half and has done well tonight for Alan Koch, will come out in the 73rd minute.
Schindler's a guy that I think the whole club are excited about. I know Alan rates him very, very highly. Very athletic player. Brings a different dynamic into that wing-back position as well.
Hoyt, an experienced veteran, he knows to take his time coming off the pitch here. And Jesse Marsh is going to counter with his final substitution when the opportunity comes. Wiedemann still waiting to be waved back on. That opportunity just came. Ball played forward by Tyler Adams will sail out along the end line.
I think just getting back to what I was talking about, I think Mitch has got to do a better job now of managing his box. That allows the back line to kind of step a little bit higher and add some pressure. Obviously setting that line for offside.
Sean Davis, who was in that collision, actually had to come out of the game. The training staff did not allow him to continue. So Davis comes out, and Derek Etienne Jr. comes on, the third and final substitution for New York.
Hopefully Davis is okay. I know he's getting checked out here. So there's concussion protocols.
Yep. Safety of the players, obviously very important.
Just looking at him on the sideline here, doesn't look very balanced.
Delbridge with his signature sliding tackle to push it out on the touchline. Quick throw in for Red Bulls. Trying to get something going offensively, trailing by 2. FC Cincinnati now 15 minutes plus stoppage time away from a trip to Kansas City. Question. Working it on his right to Verone. Etienne Jr.
Gonna shift defensively. Again, we talked about it. Don't need to commit a foul, just move your feet.
Etienne Jr. sends it into the box. Great service. Knocked down, and there's a strike for New York. Gonzalo Verone, the sub, comes on and cuts the lead in half. The first goal given up by FC Cincinnati in 585 minutes of Open Cup play.
Well, it's a ball that really shouldn't have come in. It's unlucky, comes off Austin Berry's, not his fault. Just tracking that runner again, and clean finish by New York.
So 2 of the subs for New York combine on the goal, and it's 2-1 in favor of FC Cincinnati now in the 76th minute. I think these final 15 minutes plus stoppage time are going to feel like an eternity, Kevin.
I think so, Tom. I think so. You know, it goes back. Again, you're playing against an experienced team. They have created a decent amount of chances. I think Allen won't be thrilled, at least, on that service and the lack of pressure that was, you know, pushed upon New York for that goal. But, you know, sooner or later, when you've got that amount of quality, they are going to get a breakthrough.
Delbridge lets it roll out on the end line. Goal kick coming for Mitch Hildebrand. The assist to Etienne Jr. He actually played 2 games last year against FC Cincinnati with the Red Bulls 2. Had a goal on a penalty kick in the match at Red Bull Arena, and had an assist in the match here at Nippert Stadium. Ironically enough, FC Cincinnati's next USL match comes on Saturday against Red Bulls 2, a team they have not yet seen this season. Schindler, as the ball come off his head, couldn't quite find Wiedemann. You see a heavy wrapping on the left wrist of the big German. Injured his wrist on Saturday, but able to go here tonight.
Positions here, Sandovic, I think does a good job this time, just stepping his line back, squeezing the space in front.
Tyler Adams will send it across the middle. Nearly got to Muil. Cleared away by FC Cincinnati into the midfield, where and Long will pull it down. A reel forward to the youngster Tyler Adams. Adams had 2 starts against FC Cincinnati last year at Red Bulls 2. Pushes it to his left past Muil. Jimmy McLaughlin comes over and clears it out near touchline. Muil will collect on the throw-in. Verone, who has the lone goal for Red Bulls today. Sent across into the middle. Mitch Hildebrand down to his left, misses it. And Bradley Wright Phillips has tied the match in the 78th minute.
Yeah, again, New York did a good job of getting numbers wide. Good delivery in. Great technique. Mitch might have saw it a little bit late as this ball comes across. You've got to say that's a good finish by Wright Phillips.
A crushing turn of events in the last 4 minutes as Red Bulls 2 have scored twice to tie the match at 2 apiece. The orange and blue were 15 minutes away, and now, folks, you wanted drama. Well, you're going to have it tonight one way or another.
This backline, though, from Red Bull, I talked about it, Tommy. I think they're tired, too. Allen's made some attacking substitutions. Now it's time to try to test his back line again, try to create some more opportunities.
Quinn into the middle to Delbridge. Now Boehner trying to play it forward. We haven't seen FC Cincinnati with a scoring opportunity since the goal in the 62nd minute. That made it 2-0 off the foot of Austin Berry. A lot of momentum in favor of the visitors right now. Tyler Adams will knock it back.
Big thing that you're starting to see here is just that difference in athleticism a little bit.
2 more subs available for Alan Koch. Dwight Phillips, who just scored the match-tying goal, tried to backheel it. Delbridge collected it, got it forward to Quinn. Red Bulls recover. Felipe into the middle. Wheel with it at the top of the 18. Gets a shot off. Hildebrand dives to his left to make the save in the 80th minute. Quickly sent forward for McLaughlin.
Game's really starting to open up, Tommy. Starting to see some tired legs, I think, especially the FC Cincinnati center midfielders.
Schindler being challenged as the ball is sent to Hildebrand. And I said, I'm sorry that Alcantara has 2 substitutions left. He has 1 remaining. Yeah. Schindler came on, as well as Jimmy McLaughlin. Goal kick coming here for Hildebrand. 10 minutes plus stoppage time coming. 3 second half goals. Plus 1 stoppage for an injury, so I'd imagine we'll see a couple minutes tacked on by the 4th official. Wheel will collect in the midfield. Bone will touch it away. Bone had the first goal of the match in the 31st minute. Then Austin Berry, the hometown kid, in the 62nd minute made it 2-0. But goals in the 75th and 78th minute for New York have tied the match at 2 apiece. One of these teams is headed to Kansas City September 20th.
Big thing, obviously, with that equalizing goal, Tommy, you've seen the energy change from this FC Cincinnati team. I think the biggest difference now, if they can muster up that spurt and try to change momentum again, not give this game to the Red Bulls.
Falls onto the foot of Verone, deflected away by FC Cincinnati. Red Bulls creating all the chances right now. Question into the 18. Taps it out wide. Wheel will send it across the box. Delbridge trying to track it down. With Dwight Phillips there, Delbridge on his back. Pushes it out, throwing for New York. Talked about maybe some heavy legs. A little bit muggy, not terrible tonight. But a bit humid on a clear and very nice night. To have a capacity crowd of 33,000 plus here at Nippert.
The toughest challenge really for FC Cincinnati, just the positions that the Red Bulls take up. They do a really good job of kind of getting into the lines, creating those triangles. You know, it's constant pressure that FC Cincinnati have to track and apply and slide. It certainly takes its toll.
Walker will chip it forward for McLaughlin, trying to keep it alive with Quinn and get something going right to left.
Slow down a little bit.
McLaughlin in the midfield with Tyler Adams coming over his back. Jimmy, a little bit of a frustration foul there.
Yeah.
After Adams tracked him down, called for the foul.
I think Jimmy's just a little bit frustrated. Just adds that pressure and gives away that foul.
Etienne Jr. working to the 18. Finds Felipe, trying to cross it. Delbridge turns and clears it out on the touchline. Red Bulls will race over and throw it in. They know they have the momentum right now, trying to find a way to net another in this 2-2 match.
This line just gets a little bit deeper every time, every attack the Red Bulls have.
Schindler battling along the end line. Verone pulled it out. Couldn't quite keep it alive, and Mitch Hildebrand was square for the goal kick.
You know, it's one of those things, you know, do they try to get this go-ahead goal again for FC Cincinnati? Is Allen happy enough to see out the next 7 minutes? And a tie gives him a chance to, an extra time game plan, which they've executed in the past. It'll be interesting to see these next 7 minutes unfold.
McLaughlin was trying to get it to Wiedemann. Red Bulls win it back. Vitt will head it down and bounces onto the chest of Mitch Hildebrand.
Just try to get some possession back here, Tommy, and string some passes together, get a little bit of confidence going.
Hildebrand, out across midfield. Red Bulls able to knock it down. 85th minute now. Tom Glitter, Kevin McCloskey, Lindsey Patterson, our producer David Ashbrook, and the whole crew doing a great job in the truck tonight. Bradley Wright pulls it down top of the 18. Into the box, wheel knocked down. No call on the tackle by Barry. Out into the midfield, Wiedemann unable to control it. Scary moment for seconds there in the box. Etienne Jr. 25 yards out, leaves it for Felipe.
Good snap by Austin Barry.
Read the ball perfectly.
Yeah, well played.
He'll get it forward for Wiedemann.
Be patient, good ball.
He saw Jimmy McLaughlin making the run. Can the fresh legs get there first? They cannot. But Murillo sends it out towards the corner and deep inside the attacking third. A throw incoming for the orange and blue.
I think Jimmy's got to be smart here, take his time. Allow FC Cincinnati really push up the back line into the half.
Schindler's cross, nobody home. Question will push it up the left side. A deflection. Wheel will have to pull it back. And Red Bulls now will show some patience, trying to work it across the midfield.
Well played by Maffin and read it well.
Back to the final third. Finds Felipe. Felipe, top of the 18. Wheel left it for him. Delbridge gets a header, then a scissor kick from Verone. Way over the goal and wide. Goal kick coming up in the 87th minute for Hildebrand.
Good header clearance, just unlucky with that scissor kick. Great effort.
Good look too.
Yeah.
Native of Argentina scored the first goal that gave some life to the Red Bulls in the 75th minute. See Alan Koch talking to his final sub, youngster Marco Dominguez. Going to come on and provide some fresh legs. Dominguez started the fire match, played very well that night.
Yeah, very good player. I think this sub makes a lot of sense too. Right now, a guy like Sasha Kleshton's getting a ton of space for the Red Bulls. Making that change allows Dominguez to come in and add a little bit more pressure in the midfield.
Kenny Walker watches it come off of his head right to the foot of Wright Phillips.
There's a lot of space here in front of the box.
Walker gets the deflection. Quinn trying to push forward is fouled from behind by Etienne Jr., who then stands over Aiden Quinn. Now Quinn's going to shove Etienne Jr., and this is where cooler heads have to prevail. But
absolutely,
if Derek Etienne Jr. isn't booked here for standing over Aiden Quinn after a foul,
I think he's the aggressor, Tommy.
100%. Soren Stoika, in the meantime, is going to call for a substitution. I don't think there's going to be any booking out of the situation. Dominguez, by the way, is coming on for Matt Boehner, who is limping a little bit. We'll get to take another look at the entire situation, and he is going, well, maybe not.
Up his spot, leads into
100% with an elbow. Well, this Etienne Jr. stood over Aiden Quinn. You couldn't quite see it there. You saw the push from Quinn. Free kick coming for FC Cincinnati. So Soren Stoika had a conversation with both players. He did not reach to his pocket. We have not seen a booking tonight. And what we both agreed has been a well-officiated match. Mitch Hildebrand will come up and use his big right leg to try to create a scoring opportunity here for his mates. 89th minute, 2 apiece in the Open Cup semifinal.
Schindler, the intended target.
He found Schindler to McLaughlin, who couldn't do anything with it. Tried to give it back to Schindler. And now Quinn trying to keep it alive. And they're going to say he touched it last, throw in for New York. Tyler Adams in the midfield. Tell you what, the youngster from New York has impressed me tonight.
He's been very good.
The crowd of 30,000 plus looking to put some energy here as we near the 90th minute. Sent into the middle, off the post from Bradley Wright Phillips. A prayer is answered. Wright Phillips nearly had a game winner. Still alive for Red Bulls in the box. Kenny Walker picks it up after a collision with Verone. No whistle from the official. Holy smokes, that strike from Bradley Wright Phillips.
It's the underside of the crossbar, Tommy. It doesn't get closer than that.
I think the cage was rattling for 30 seconds. Dominguez taps it back to Delbridge. Now Hildebrandt will clear it away. 3 minutes.
The fourth official has indicated a minimum of 3 minutes of stoppage time.
Verone trying to get it into the middle. Verone with a shot. Hildebrandt with a save, diving to the near post. So we are on to stoppage time. 2 apiece in the Queen City. 100% agree.
Try to see out this final whistle.
Has had all the momentum the last 15 minutes. Schindler has it come off his chest. Red Bulls earn the throw-in. Best thing for the orange and blue right now is to get to those 2 15-minute extra time sessions.
Absolutely.
Give Allen a chance to game plan with his squad. Both coaches out of substitutions. Foul called in the midfield on FC Cincinnati. Question slow to his feet as the boos rain out from the crowd.
It's going to be a big play to defend here, Tommy. I mean, much time left.
Red Bulls setting up at the top of the 18. Felipe will send it forward. Is looking for Etienne Jr. Headed away by FC Cincinnati. Dominguez will give it forward to McLaughlin. McLaughlin cut down by Question. No foul is called. Adams trying to get it into the middle. Kenny Walker comes forward. He's knocked down. Marco Dominguez finally gets it out into the midfield. Very physical few moments here in Nippert.
You keep their composure here. Don't fall asleep.
Adams will work it from the corner. His service into the middle. Vitt heads it up. Wright Phillips tried a bicycle kick, couldn't get enough of it, and touches it out along the end line. Goal kick coming for Hildebrandt. It was right there.
Lucky for FC Cincinnati. He doesn't get clean contact on me, or else that's a goal.
Went right between the 2 defenders, DeVitt and Schindler. And Wright Phillips, the prolific scorer, unable to bury his second of the night. Etienne Jr. wins it in the midfield and earns a foul.
Kind of soft, I think.
After some of the contact just moments ago, that wasn't called. A little bit surprising to see the whistle blown on that one. Nearing the end of 3 minutes of stoppage time. FC Cincinnati might need another stop defensively. Soren Stoica has seen enough. 30 more minutes to be played into the 2017 Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup semifinal. 2 late goals from New York tie the match at 2 apiece. And we have 2 15-minute extra time sessions coming. So Kevin and I are going to step aside and take a break. The 2 teams will huddle up And we'll come back with the first of the 2 extra time sessions. Your score after 90 minutes, FC Cincinnati 2, New York Red Bulls 2. It'll take at least 30 more to settle this one. This is FC Cincinnati Soccer.
In support of the growth of soccer.
Tom Glitter, Kevin McCloskey, Lindsey Patterson, back with you here at Nippert Stadium, where we have reached the end of 90 minutes. New York Red Bulls with a wild 4-minute stretch in the final 15 minutes to tie this one at 2 apiece, and they nearly won it in regulation with a couple chances very late, including a big one from Bradley Wright Phillips, finding the woodwork on the crossbar.
Yeah, it doesn't really get much closer than that, Tommy, the underside of the bar. This is another opportunity by Bradley Wright Phillips. Just doesn't make contact, or enough contact at least, to trouble Miss Hildebrand, but very close opportunity.
Well, give New York a lot of credit. Down 2 with 15 minutes to play. They could have packed it in and said, you know what, this wasn't our year.
No.
We're not moving on to the Cup final.
No.
Red Bulls played really well after that second goal by Austin Berry that made it 2-0 and earned these 2 extra time sessions.
Yeah, they changed gears definitely, Tommy. I mean, they showed the class and the ability that they have. You know, they're a very dynamic team. They play really well in tight spaces, little pockets of space.
Well, we talked about it before the match. No reason not to believe that FC Cincinnati could win tonight. They certainly had that belief. No reason not to believe now.
No, absolutely. There's, you know, 2 thoughts behind this. Do you try to see it out for penalties? I don't think that's going to be the option tonight, Tommy. I think New York are probably the more athletic team right now. Tiredness is starting to set in. So the second thing is, can you score an early goal? And I think if you can score an early goal for FC Cincinnati, gives them a great shot.
Swing some of that momentum back the other way.
They've got to.
New York will flip sides and head towards the Bailey now for the first 15-minute extra time session. Dominguez turned it forward. Felipe gets a shot off. Sails about 4 feet high on the corner of the goal frame, and Mitch Hildebrandt was set for a goal kick the other way. It looked like Austin Berry would be the hero here in his hometown with the second goal to make it 2-0. New York had other plans. The other semifinal, Kansas City and San Jose, that one went to 120 minutes and actually into penalty kicks, where Sporting KC won. I'm sure they're all watching back in Kansas City right now, waiting to see who their opponent will be on September 20th. Sal Zizo, who's been quiet since coming in, pushing it up the left side, but right to the foot of Austin Berry. His touch a bit heavy. Etienne Jr. picks it up. Sem DeVitt turning on it, back out into the midfield. Here's Felipe. Pushes it out wide to the right.
Obviously got to defend here really well, Tommy, but I think that the opportunity that always exists is this counter-attack if they can play quickly. A lot of times New York are leaving 1v1, 2v2s at the back here.
Brown wanted to call inside of the 18, isn't going to get it. And Mitch Hildebrand saw Jimmy McLaughlin streaking down the left side, tried to find him quickly, and couldn't quite get there. FC Cincinnati in this tournament so far has had 2 of their 5 matches go to extra time. One was settled in the 120 minutes with a goal by GB in the first match back on May 17th. And then the other time, of course, everybody remembers June 28th against the Chicago Fire here. And a spectacular performance by Mitch Hildebrand, making 3 saves on the MLS side. Dominguez battling along the edge of the 18 with Tyler Adams.
That's great defending.
And he earns a goal kick for Hildebrand.
I was interested to see, Marco Dominguez, obviously a central player. They put him into left wing back. I was interested to see how he'd kind of handle it. And so far, I think he's done well. Not a natural wide player. Obviously, he's facing some pace on that right-hand side with New York. So far, he's definitely come in and did the job.
Interesting. Dominguez into the 18. Josu out of the 18 today for Alan Koch. He has some depth and different opportunities to get guys in there. Josu played on Sunday at Louisville. Had a little bit of a knee injury that kept him out of unable to feed it out wide to the left to Wiedemann. Here's Etienne Jr.
Good defender again.
Trying to get it forward for Wright Phillips. And cleared away. Kenny Walker shoved down after the fact. Just outside the 18. I think Walker, one of those guys, maybe with a little bit of heavy legs for FC Cincinnati. Taking his time getting back to his feet.
No, it's smart. There might have been a little bit of contact, but just that extra stoppage, that extra time gives him a chance to kind of collect himself a little bit. Move on to the next play.
Throw-in will come from midfield from Sal Zizo, the defender out of San Diego. Onto the foot of Aaron Long. Pushed over to the right. Murillo.
Just interesting. Jimmy's now taking kind of that higher position. Wiedemann's dropped back a little bit. You've always got to think, Tommy, there's an opportunity and a chance when Jimmy McLaughlin's that lone forward with all the energy that he has.
Barry taps it off the foot of Murillo. Etienne Jr. there with Corbin Bone. Now Question looking to set something up. We've seen tonight why Sasha Question is the most prolific passer in Red Bull's history.
Very good play.
Left side Verone. Sends it across the box. Dominguez knocks it out along the end line, and a corner kick coming up here in extra time for Red Bulls. 95th minute in the second and final U.S. Open Cup semifinal. Corner kick will come from the far side, left of Mitch Hildebrand. Service into the middle, off the head of Murillo and up towards the stands, and actually they'll say a touch Wiedemann. So another chance at a corner here for New York.
Quick corner this time.
Yeah, played short. Jimmy McLaughlin was getting there quickly to provide pressure. Played out high to Zizo.
Interesting if FC Cincinnati can win this ball back. New York shape's not the greatest at preventative.
Tyler Adams will bring it into the 18. Sends it across the middle. Wright Phillips was there and couldn't connect. Rolls out slowly far side. Throw in coming for the orange and blue.
It's a dangerous ball across.
Adams had a ton of space there.
Yeah.
With Kenny Walker trailing.
Surprising nobody got a touch on it, honestly, Tommy.
Zizo playing it into the middle. Felipe to his left finds Verone, then gets it right back. Over to the right. Etienne Jr. shot sails up into the Bailey.
Got to imagine Aidan Quinn and Kenny Walker right now, Corbin Bone, they've got to be feeling the effects of having to kind of work so hard to pressure that midfield of Red Bulls. Very talented opponents, obviously, Sasha Kleshtin, Felipe.
I'll tell you this much, 33,250 here tonight. They've seen a show.
I've definitely seen that. I'm not disappointed. It's not over yet, Tommy.
Not by any means, and none of them have left Nippert Stadium. The stands packed to the very top row. Burial headed down, but it falls to the chest of Wheel. Schindler on a handball, didn't get called. Wheel keeps it alive. Nutmeg Schindler, and then DeVitt trying to clear it, played it right into the chest of Schindler, and a throw-in coming from New York, deep inside their final third. Wheel will handle it. Played back into the midfield to the foot of Long. Again, both managers have used all of their available substitutions. The subs paid immediate dividends for Jesse March. Barone and Etienne, both subs tonight, connected on a first goal that started the momentum swing in favor of New York. Throw in for FC Cincinnati in the 98th minute.
The difference too, Tommy, is really Marco Dominguez on that far side, and Kevin Schindler have been kind of pegged back a little bit. They've not been able to provide any support in the attack. It's tough work for Jimmy McLaughlin and Wiedemann to try to do it on their own, you know.
Throwing a misplayed ball. I mentioned the other semifinal went to penalty kicks. I watched that match, and I felt, just watching it on my computer, that in that match, Sporting KC really went for it. Yeah. In those two 15-minute sessions, San Jose maybe played a bit for penalty kicks. No doubt Red Bulls are going for it, and FC Cincinnati is as well, but...
Well, they've got to respect, and I said, right, there's two trains of thought here. You know, it's like, you try to seal it out, or do you try to sneak a goal? I think right now, obviously, with the possession, it's heavily in favor of New York Red Bulls. It's tough to just to keep, you know, continue to defend the entire time.
Great defensive play by Austin Berry to sneak it away. Kenny Walker, as I say, got away with a handball, and he did not. Soren Stoica was just late getting there. Wasn't intentional, but a very dangerous spot coming.
I think it allows advantage actually to be played. Again, very good officiating. He sees that it doesn't develop. Pulls it back for free kick. Very dangerous position here. Got to make sure, Mitch has got to make sure that his wall's set right. And Kenny's arguing with the referee. He's got to get back in here and get organized again defensively.
Question will stand over it. Felipe is there as well as the wall gets set by FC Cincinnati. The home club looking for some more magic in the Open Cup. Got to be tight defensively here. Question will take it. Tried to sneak it inside the near post, and he was too tall. Sailed over the head of Mitch Hildebrand. He's arguing that it was deflected and would like a corner kick.
There was one Red Bull player in that wall. I think he might have clipped it his head. Huh?
Yeah, I think it went off Austin Berry.
There you go.
Sometimes you get some breaks.
That's right.
Sometimes you don't.
Sometimes you don't. That's right.
FC Cincinnati certainly has seen that during the USL season. Maybe a fortunate break there. Schindler off the goal kick. Got it forward for McLaughlin.
Good defended.
Jimmy trying to find some life offensively for FC Cincinnati. It bounces forward to Mera.
Tyler Adams, you talked about earlier, Tommy. I think he's done a really good job, the young player for New York.
2/3 of the way through our first of two 15-minute extra time sessions. Ball sent across the middle. Bradley Wright Phillips puts it in the back of the net, and New York has scored 3 unanswered to take the lead. Take another look. Question sent it out wide. Zizo into the middle. And Wright Phillips beats Mitch Hildebrandt for the second time tonight.
The part that he got on that header, it's kind of falling backwards. It snaps through it. Placement of the game was perfect into the bottom corner. You see why he's one of the most dangerous players in the MLS.
Bradley Wright Phillips has 14 goals in MLS play. He has 2 here late. An equalizer in the 78th minute and a go-ahead goal in the 101st minute. And now suddenly, if you're Alan Koch, and you really haven't had many scoring opportunities the last 30 minutes, how do you change things to try to create one? Because now you have to push forward. Yeah,
I think the incentive on the wing-backs, you've got to push them forward. You know, they can't leave Andrew Wiedemann and Jimmy McLaughlin alone in the 2 system. Can't really change anything at the back. It's already kind of 3. So it's about getting numbers forward. It's more of an attitude and kind of a decision than, you know, the shape of a formation.
Schindler in the middle. Marco Dominguez is there. Marco Dominguez just misses on a great defensive play by New York. Mera was beat. Dominguez had it. And at the last second, Tyler Adams, the 18-year-old, came in to save the day.
We talked about the wingbacks getting forward. Marco Dominguez is one of those guys. Brave through this challenge. Wow. What a tackle by Adams.
Great ball in. Dominguez stayed with it and nearly had the biggest goal of his young career. In the end, a corner kick coming here for the orange and blue in the 103rd minute. Quinn with his left foot across the box. Delbridge can't get to it. Wiedemann's going to keep it alive. Check it, it was Dominguez, and then the shot from the top of the 18 sails over the frame. Good looks, decent energy there from FC Cincinnati, responding after going down a goal for the first time tonight.
I think so far defensively too, they've kind of set in a lower block. I think they've got to change. I think they've got to apply a little bit of pressure here now. Try to win the ball back up, higher up the field. To be fair, New York really haven't seen that press either, so it'll be interesting to see how they react to this.
Hit a heads-up play by Marco Dominguez on that opportunity. Sal Zizo out across midfield with Wiedemann trailing. Red Bulls trying to get back to the attacking third. Wheel out wide to the left. Question just outside the 18 with Walker coming in defensively. And a foul will be called on Question, who took down Kenny Walker. Walker has been working very hard here tonight, cramping up a little bit, and you can see getting some help there from Sam DeVitt, stretched out before making the run forward.
Walker, seeing Wiedemann limp a little bit here too. Maybe affects a cramp. I think maybe moving Kevin Schindler into more of a central position might be a good decision, just for that ability to win those balls.
Yeah, Schindler able to head it on forward, looking for Wiedemann. Wiedemann definitely cramping up. You can see him grabbing his right leg. He couldn't get to that ball. Throw in will come. Schindler will take it on the near side.
Yeah, Schindler taking the throw in, but really he's one of the biggest targets for FC Cincinnati.
Schindler let it be poked back out along the touchline. 1 minute of stoppage time added to this first extra time period. McLaughlin got it into the 18. Set it out. Corner kick coming for FC Cincinnati. And maybe an opportunity to tally before the next break. And they come to their feet here in the Queen City as Aiden Quinn sets to send it along. His service with the left foot, looking far post. Mera punches it up into the air. Dominguez trying to track it down with Etienne Jr. there. Red Bulls win it and race out into the midfield. Now McLaughlin gets a deflection back.
Well played.
Into the middle for Schindler. Schindler with his right foot sends it just wide to the left of Ryan Mera. A great look there for the big German.
And that's that ability we're talking about, Tommy. I think Jimmy McLaughlin, first of all, did a good job of pressure and won the ball back. Sets up Kevin Schindler. That's a close effort.
A great look there for Schindler as the teams will huddle up, and we will take our final break of the night. 15 more minutes coming. FC Cincinnati now in need of an equalizer. We are in extra time. New York Red Bulls leading the Open Cup semifinal 3-2. We'll be back with 15 more. This is FC Cincinnati Soccer. Tom Glitter and Kevin McCloskey back with you at Nippert Stadium, where FC Cincinnati looking for late heroics here in extra time. 15 minutes remaining. And if you remember, the Orange and Blue were 15 minutes away from a trip to Kansas City, and the tides turned in a hurry. Right now, New York 15 minutes away from a cup final and a trip to New York City, unless FC Cincinnati has a little bit more magic. McLaughlin will pull it down in the corner, attacking in front of the Bailey. Sends it across the middle, looking for Wiedemann, and Mara got there first.
Mara deals with his ball well. Actually, I think he's been pretty impressive tonight. Ball comes through in traffic. Comes out, does what he's supposed to. Owns the 6-yard box. Good save.
Pulled right into the chest, send to Vitt. Slows it down over to the right of Mitch Hildebrandt. Let's quickly go down to the pitch and check in with the third member of our broadcast team, Lindsay Patterson.
Yeah, guys, I had a chance to talk to Alan Koch for a couple of seconds down there, and he pretty much told him, we've got to press all over the place. We have to get the ball back. You guys talked about Andrew Wiedemann cramping up. He was actually working on the side with Aaron Powell, stretching and getting some water, too.
All right, thank you, Lindsay. Right now, you got to battle through the cramps, the fatigue, and the heavy legs. Try to find a way to score one more. Remember, FC Cincinnati scored 4 goals in the first 5 matches to get to this semifinal. They were all scored by GB. Marco Dominguez nearly had the moment to tie it towards the end of the first extra time session. And Tyler Adams came sliding in to clear the ball just inches from being the 3rd goal of the night for FC Cincinnati. Now all of a sudden New York going to take their time putting it back into play. As they're hoping that the clock run down as much as possible. Alan Koch looking for a little encouragement to get the Red Bulls back moving. Etienne Jr. He's been great since he came on to the match. Chipped it forward for Wright Phillips, but he came on to Hildebrand.
Let's see how good Andrew
Hildebrand
Whitten's
down the
hamstring
field.
is.
McLaughlin keeps it alive. Over to Wiedemann. Flag didn't go up. So Wiedemann thought the flag was coming up. It started to and then went down.
Yeah, well, he stopped his run, but if he continued his run, it would have come up. He's in an offside position here. Jimmy just takes that touch. He's offside. He couldn't do it. The surprising thing I was just saying, as that play happened, is his hamstring going to hold up? I mean, I don't think this is crap. I think this is more of a hamstring strain. He's struggling to walk right now, even.
Yeah.
Never mind galloping.
Dominguez turning it forward. Wiedemann can barely make a run to get there.
He's in a lot of pain. The thing you've got to think about too, you know, is this going to further damage him?
Yeah.
Right now he's not affecting the game.
You're not going to take him out and play a man down, but
you might. I mean, honestly. Yeah. You know, Alan's got to look at it. Is he affecting the game? Probably not. Anytime where there's a hamstring injury, it could be worse.
Quinn will push forward. Corner kick coming. You don't necessarily need a hobbled Andrew Wiedemann on this situation. Quinn pushing forward where Wiedemann may have been. Deflected it off Murillo. And an opportunity here for Kenny Walker to cross it. Koch had received a stern warning moments ago from Soren Stoika with some activity in front of FC Cincinnati's bench. Brandon Hart is the fourth official still over there chatting with the staff.
I think the key here is trying to find Kevin Schindler or Carson Delbert at that back post again.
Here's Walker's service, looking far post, headed away by New York. Comes out to the Vitt. Sent over for Walker, who does well to keep it in. Now let's see what Wiedemann can do with one leg.
He did well.
Yeah. He kept it alive and pushed it back to the Vitt, who's going to send it back forward. Into the 18. McLaughlin squares it to Bone. Bone gets a shot off and it goes just high.
Great opportunity.
First Corbin Bone had the first goal of the night. Take another look.
Kevin Schindler again being a big aerial presence. Good first touch by Jimmy McLaughlin. That's not a bad effort. He's trying to chip him actually. She's the keeper a couple of yards off his line. It's going to be tough to beat the big guy in goal for New York.
No matter what happens over the next 10 minutes, the Orange and Blue have nothing to be ashamed about tonight or throughout this run in the U.S. Open Cup. It's not over yet. Still time to find an equalizer and try to force penalties. Right now, New York's going to take as much time putting it back into play, try to get closer to their date in the Cup final for the second time in franchise history. Vitt lets it roll out. Mitch Hildebrand will get a goal kick. He won't waste any time putting it into play. 111th minute.
So it's rolling.
Yeah. Hildebrand didn't stop the ball, so as it came out to midfield, now Aiden Quinn's going to send it out on the near touchline. Hildebrand will get another. And this time, Mitch is allowed to send it out into the midfield. It skips forward out of the chest of McLaughlin, who will look to push it wide. Sends it for Aiden Quinn. Quinn is pushed down, no whistle, gets up, maintains possession. Aiden Quinn trying to make something happen. And he didn't deflect it off of New York. That was the intention. It went out on the end line as he was double teamed.
Yeah, it does a good job.
Maybe a
looks
bit of
like a little bit of a push or a slip.
Long had his hand on his back, but I think he slipped a little bit there as well.
Great balance here. He tries to nick off the defender to try to get a corner kick. Unlucky, he goes out for a goal kick.
Ryan Merrill, 26-year-old goalkeeper. When he was acquired by New York Red Bulls, he was then traded to rival New York City FC and spent a season on loan with the club's biggest rival. Now back playing his fourth consecutive Open Cup match. Wiedemann turned it forward. Quinn couldn't get to it. Carrillo will clear it out into the midfield, right in front of his bench where Delbridge will battle for it. Varone can't hold on to it. And a throw in for FC Cincinnati will come quickly to the Vitt. 8 minutes left, plus any stoppage time that the match official tacks on. The orange and blue, in desperate need of late match heroics. Cleared out far touchline. Throwing will come for the home lads.
Still a lot of time. I think momentum has changed a little bit, Tommy. Now it's starting to create some opportunities here for FC Cincinnati. Talk about the courage and the commitment. They're certainly not giving up. They're going to throw everything they've got at this team.
Throw in the direction of Wiedemann, didn't get there. Marco Dominguez trying to head it on to Quinn. Aiden Quinn playing almost as a forward. Dominguez keeps it alive. Delbridge sliding into Tyler Adams. We're going to call it goal kick. And now Delbridge and Tyler Adams getting into it. Felipe coming over. Adams took exception to the sliding tackle from the big Aussie. And again, I think they're making dinner plans for once this one is over. To note about Harrison Delbridge, he's played every minute of this cup run.
It's actually a foul, probably. I think Allen's screaming to Harrison to, hey, get back.
Yeah.
Forget about that.
No time for that.
No, exactly.
So Delbridge is obviously going to finish this match. He will have played 630 minutes in 6 Open Cup matches. The only player for FC Cincinnati to play every single match of this magical run.
This is the type of guy.
Jimmy McLaughlin keeps it alive.
Jimmy's the player you want in these games, too, especially at this stage of the game.
Try to get it in the middle. Kenny Walker sliding, doing anything he can to keep it alive. Red Bulls regain possession. Delbridge going to come forward, has to sell out to get to the ball. One back by New York, and he'll hustle back as Ferrone will work up the right side. Ferrone had the first Red Bulls goal, got him back into the match. Marco Dominguez and Ferrone make contact, and the Red Bulls will have possession. 115th minute now. Tyler Adams sets to throw it in. Marco Dominguez back over Ferrone. And again, they'll say throw in for New York, much to the chagrin of 33,000 on their feet here in the Queen City.
Ferrone's really trying to test this young guy, Marco Dominguez, but to be fair, Tommy, I think he's held his own. You know, he's went in. I think he's been a good sub for Alan Koch. Playing in that position, it's not his norm. He's usually a central player playing in that wide position tonight.
3 unanswered goals from New York. Tyler Adams just shoves Corbin Bone. And we're going to see Soren Stoica go to the book for the first time tonight. Comes in the 116th minute. A yellow card for Tyler Adams. Mitch Hildebrand will come over to take the free kick and push it forward quickly.
Pushing Harrison Delbridge. I wouldn't be surprised that Harrison actually stays up there as a permanent fixture the last 5 minutes.
Quinn trying to pick it up at the top of the 18. Cannot. Kevin Schindler will come over. Schindler with his right boot sends it into the middle. Walker slides it to the left.
Good numbers forward here, Tommy.
Dominguez into the box. Wiedemann got his head on it and sent it just over the frame.
For a guy that's playing on one leg, Tommy, he's been pretty active. Said at one point I didn't think he was affecting the game. I mean, he certainly proved me wrong.
If Wiedemann buries that header there, it's shades of Kirk Gibson in the 1988 World Series. Rounding the bases on one leg. One of the Red Bulls is down right at the top of the 18. Here's another look at Wiedemann getting on that header and putting it over the frame. Felipe is the player who is slow to his feet. I think the 26-year-old veteran is going to take all the time in the world right here.
Oh, yeah.
You can see Wiedemann stretching that left hamstring. After this one, I would imagine that you're going to see a bit of a rotation from Alan Koch on Saturday when FC Cincinnati plays Red Bulls 2 in New Jersey. Alan Koch asking Brandon Artis, the 4th official, for some help in getting this match back going. Of course, the time that Felipe is down should be accounted for in the stoppage time when we roll into that in about 3 minutes. Felipe limping towards the sideline. You got Wiedemann playing on one leg. He hasn't gone down really at all. Felipe burning about 60 seconds off the clock there. But when your club's leading 3-2, that's some of the theatrics that come with the sport.
Shows an experienced player.
Mara, the goalkeeper, out across midfield. Schindler heads it away, but out along the touchline. That'll let the Red Bulls roll it off some more. It was 2-0 in the 75th minute when Verone made it 2-1. Then Wright Phillips, 3 minutes later, tied it at 2 apiece. And Wright Phillips in the 101st minute, the go-ahead goal for New York. Trying to create an all-MLS Open Cup final. Wright Phillips picks it up. Not as much of a sense of urgency to attack here for New York. New York just looking for a corner kick. They won't get it.
Just interesting, I talked about Harrison's not just playing as an extra center forward. You never want to play the what ifs, but what if Jimmy might have been playing in this game? Would he have been that difference?
Koenig had the assist on the Corbin Bone goal.
I think a guy like GB tonight, especially how this game is when he certainly would have been a factor.
DeVitt over to the left side, McLaughlin. McLaughlin sending in the direction of the box. Headed away by New York. Now to the 119th minute. Opportunities running out for FC Cincinnati. Little bit of contact in the midfield. New York looking for a card, won't get it, just a foul. And this time it's Verone, slow to his feet.
Yeah.
Soren Stoica saying hurry up.
Walker just pulls it back.
And if FC Cincinnati is going to find an equalizer, it's going to be in dramatic fashion.
Yeah.
And almost certainly send this one to penalty kicks. Dominguez trying to help make that happen. Tyler Adams will head it out in FC Cincinnati's bench.
Gotta think 2 or 3 more minutes, Tommy.
Haven't yet seen an indication, but it should be coming in a moment. Laughlin out in the midfield trying to create, unable to find anything. Alex Mule.
Well done by Jimmy
push it the other way. McLaughlin chasing him down, and then Mitch Hildebrand comes over, diving to pick it up. 2 minutes of stoppage time coming. That's all that's remaining for the orange and blue. Wiedemann on one leg. Tried to get to it. Red Bulls back out into the midfield. Wright Phillips picks it up. Hildebrand has to come off his line, chip it back forward into the midfield. Sem DeVitt trying to win it back. Wright Phillips is there, and he'll push it to Etienne Jr.
Gonna be offside.
Flag went up late.
Probably one of the last chances coming up here, Tommy.
So we are into our final stoppage time period.
He's calling back for the foul, wow.
So the flag did go up, but they're going to call the foul in the midfield. And Etienne Jr. is now going to be the one who takes his time.
Yeah,
just enough. Kenny Walker caught him right on the boot. So FC Cincinnati is going to have to regain possession and push quickly the other way if they have any hopes of moving on to Kansas City. Verone forward for Etienne Jr. At this point, he's just going to pull it towards the corner. With Walker on his back, Dominguez comes over, and they're going to call a foul on Marco Dominguez. A bit of a shove trying to win it back. If FC Cincinnati doesn't get an equalizer, obviously this will be a wildly disappointing result considering where this match was at in the 75th minute. But again, a very special and magical run by Alan Koch in the orange and blue over the summer of 2017. Wright Phillips with a shot. Mitch Hildebrand swiped at it, didn't touch it. And this might be the last opportunity here.
So this is the last one, Tommy.
See how much rope
Stoica gives FC Cincinnati? The answer is none. The final whistle sounds here at Nippert Stadium. The New York Red Bulls have a date with Sporting Kansas City in the U.S. Open Cup Finals, September 20th. The exhaustion sets in for the orange and blue, and a standing ovation with chants of FCC for the home side following defeat.
Certainly give a big effort tonight, Tommy. I'm sure Alan's going to look back and see, you know, how those goals were kind of conceded. But big effort from every single player to play for FC Cincinnati tonight.
So both teams, exchanging hugs out at midfield as FC Cincinnati sees their Open Cup run come to a close. We will hear from Alan Koch here momentarily, and now Lindsey Patterson has the head coach, so let's go down to the pitch.
Coach, I know it ended a match too soon. You hear 33,000 standing on their feet right now saying FC Cincinnati. What a run for your guys. Can you put into words what it meant?
Yeah, we're obviously disappointed to lose because I thought we played very well tonight. We obviously got tired as the game went along, and that's to be expected when you play against a group. They're a level above us, obviously, and they've got big-time international stars, and it showed. And that's the little bit of class that made the difference tonight, that allowed them to obviously get themselves back into it. But full credit to them. They're a great team. We wish them good luck in the final. But tonight was about this club, this city, these fans. It's awesome. I said it, this cup run's been truly magical. It's something very special, and something we can all take a lot of pride in.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Lindsey, and certainly appreciate the time from Alan Koch tonight, as New York now has won 8 of their last 9 matches, including 3 Open Cup victories. Tonight's moment of the match is driven by Toyota. Let's go places. And for FC Cincinnati, the goal by the hometown kid, Austin Berry. Looked like it might be the insurance goal the orange and blue needed to put this one away in regulation. And not how it turned out, but a special moment for Austin Berry nonetheless.
Yeah, definitely a moment that he's always going to remember. You know, at the time of the game, as you said, it looked like that insurance goal, but not to be. But fantastic finish by Austin Berry, and I'm sure it's a moment that will stay with him forever.
Save time every time when you use Online Check-In for a great haircut at Great Clips. It's going to be great. Our Great Clips, great saves tonight. Mitch Hildebrandt will be disappointed in the 3 goals he gave up, but he was tested early and answered the bell.
Yeah, big save here. This came up. Wright Phillips came through, and to me, it's a strong save. This next opportunity, again, it's a testing ball, and I think he does well just to kind of come out and collect in a 6. Very comfortable effort. Felipe kind of test him. This was, I think, a very important save.
So Mitch Hildebrandt, a handful of saves tonight, unfortunately in a losing effort. Tonight's match highlights are presented by Toyota. For all the latest Toyota offers, visit buyatoyota.com. We expected a very competitive match tonight, Kevin. We got that in Corbin Bone with the fireworks early.
What a start to the game. You know, a great understanding between those 3 players, and Corbin Bone is, you know, a very cool finish to give Nippert Stadium a massive start to this game. Opportunities arose again, and this is the second goal that we saw. Austin Berry comes in, great finish, great delivery by Kenny Walker to go 2-0 up. At that point you think, hey, this is something special, but not to be New York, and Alan talked about it, really show class, ball in. Unlucky with his clearance, but good finish in by Gonzalo, and you know, that was really the shift in momentum. Once that goal went in, I think New York really changed gears and started to show the class that they possessed. This was the equalizing goal by Wright Phillips. Unlucky for Mitch. I think he saw it late, but again, a class finish by an unbelievable striker. This is really the nail in the coffin. good finish. There's not much then FC Cincinnati could do to try to fight back.
Just out of the reach of Mitch Hildebrand. It came in the 101st minute and was the difference in the match as a small gathering of Red Bull fans, but they were able to celebrate with their star striker. Tonight's man of the match is presented by You Pull and Pay. Find the parts you need fast and save at You Pull and Pay. Corbin Bone, his first goal in any competition this season, and it was a beauty and brought this place to life in the first half.
Oh, it's just a fantastic, good finish, just at the right time. I think not only that finish, but I think his work rate tonight, I think his confidence in the attack for FC Cincinnati was on show. And for me, he's FC Cincinnati's man of the match.
Kevin, a special run, just the second year for this club. As you see GB there with tears in his eyes, he wasn't able to play tonight on yellow card accumulation, and obviously disappointed. He thought he was going to play in a cup final. Fans disappointed as well, but a lot to be proud of with their club. And now they get a chance to change their focus and look at USL play. This obviously, I don't want to say it's been a distraction from league play, but it's been something they've had to deal with because it's really important. And look, they were that close, 15 minutes from going to a cup final and didn't get there. So yeah, is the club disappointed? But they only have one match in USL play the rest of the season against teams ahead of them in the table. So really, they control their destiny in many ways moving forward through the rest of the league season.
I think, yeah, Tommy, I think they've gotten everything out of this run. You couldn't really ask for more, as far as packing the stands and putting on fantastic performances and really taking the support to a new level. Like you said, it's tolling, it's taxing. I think you get to this stage of the season now, and the most important thing for this club is the USL. So kind of heading into this last stretch of the season without these extra games, I think is going to be key in trying to get into the playoff picture and really pushing into that top 4 position if they can.
Well, a disappointing finish, but look at the Red Bulls here following the win, saluting the Bailey.
Yeah, class act.
And the fans of 33,250 that came out tonight for the Cup semifinal. Once again, your final score from Nippert Stadium: New York Red Bulls 3, FC Cincinnati 2. Up next for the Orange and Blue, a trip to the Big Apple to take on Red Bulls 2 this Saturday at 4 o'clock. Our next broadcast of USL Soccer comes your way Wednesday night, August 23rd, when FC Cincinnati welcomes Ottawa Fury. For sideline reporter Lindsey Patterson, my broadcast partner Kevin McCloskey, our producer David Ausbrock, and production manager Mike Bacon, I'm Tom Gletter saying so long. It's been a pleasure. Good night from Nippert Stadium.